Hello, listeners, and welcome to yet another episode of Nigeria Football Weekly Podcast. Me, host Olu. Okay, today we've got another bumper episode for your listening pleasure. Shout out to John Andrea for already being here. I said excited for this one. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody. So just want to go through the talking points for today's episode. Obviously, the FA Cup is going on now, so no Premier League games, but we'll be going through the stand-up performance for the week. It must be said that this was a better week for Nigeria, in terms of our players showing up. Tuesday Starboy of the week has been a difficult one. And then, of course, we'll go to the Starboy of the week. And then I'm sure you've heard about the Gift Urban red card controversy from Verona's game yesterday when they played Parma away. So we'll be quickly touching on that. And then women's under 20 World Cup qualifiers, we'll give you a quick update on that before we get into the usual weekend player reviews and then finishing with the ones to watch. After that, of course, I'll leave time for if anybody wants to come and give their thoughts on any of the points or just general discussions around football. So really excited for this one. I do not want to act like I'm living under the tree. I know we heard rumors about a decision being made regarding Nigeria's petition to go to the World Cup. I heard something will be released today, but I've searched everywhere and I've not seen any official communications from FIFA or the NFF or any of the bodies you would trust the information they give you. There are a few Nigerian channels peddling false information as usual, but we know none of that is true. So I just wanted to clarify. It's not that I don't want to talk about the World Cup thing. It's just I don't believe we should bring you news unless it's credible and well-sourced. And as far as I know, a lot of this petition chat, as I've been saying on the channel for a while, I can't really see how Nigeria gets to the World Cup through the back door. But, of course, if we somehow get in there, we'll be excited and we'll, of course, bring you the news. So just wanted to make sure I touch on that. So it's not as if we're just here ignoring real-life stuff that's going on. So if that changes, we'll, of course, bring that to you, but we already know we've licked our wounds. We've had since November to get over it. So look, we even had AFCON where our team did well. So let's just move forward and see how things go. John Andrea, I actually watched the incident when it happened because I thought it was Orban that might have gotten a red card and it was so early on. So we'll get into that, but it's quite an interesting one when it comes to the Orban situation. And you're right about Nigerian football and fake news. It's so ridiculous. Like the amount of even so-called semi-credible channels that will peddle information that is just not correct or accurate is quite mind-boggling. Anything for traffic, and I don't think we should ever reach the point where we choose traffic over bringing well-sourced information because we want views or we want subscribers or we want to make money. That's not the point of why we do this. We want to make sure we're bringing you well-sourced information. So once that changes, we'll of course bring that to you. So John Andrea, shout out to you for all the support, and don't worry, no fake news over here. So we'll get into that. Housekeeping, just to mention, on Wednesday, February 18th, I will host the first ever members-only live stream on Nigeria Football Weekly. That's something we've been building towards. We just want, like I said, if you're a normal subscriber, nothing changes in terms of what you receive. We'll still do the Monday live streams, we'll still do the Thursday live streams as well. Sometimes we may make a decision to record the video depending on the moment. For example, March 12th coming is my birthday. My birthday is on a Thursday. I don't know if I'll do a live show on a Thursday, but we'll make sure we bring you this content. So just so you know, if you're a normal subscriber and you enjoy the content, nothing's going to change in terms of what you see or what you are able to feast on this channel. The members only content is to make sure that we're able to provide additional value for our members. They support the channel in a bigger way, obviously, with that financial commitment. So it's more about making sure that they get value from what they do and we bring that information to them. So that's what the members only live streams will be about. Some of the videos we record will have early access for members, but only by a few hours or maybe a couple of days. And also, if you're a member, you get the opportunity to help us shape some of the editorial content that you see on this channel. Also, I want to say I now have the NigeriaFootballWeekly.com website live. So shout out to everybody there. We'll use that more even when we start writing articles and for things like hot takes when Nigeria is playing. It's also a medium where you'll be able to select your Starboy of the week. So go check it out. For now, we're still tweaking a few things on there, but it's officially live. I'll still do the Starboys of the week on the channel, but it's another medium for me to get your thoughts and your opinions on the game. So just to clarify that, nothing changes. Also, with our subscriber base, we're now on the road to 20K. You guys are the ones that have made me even believe it was possible. Last year, we were on the road to 5K. From 5K, you guys took us to 10K. because you like the content and you like the way and what we bring to you. But like I always like to stress, someone always said, Olu, I always thanking everybody. I don't take it for granted. Thank you guys so much for all the support and for always locking in. Both the ones that enjoy the long content and the short content. Just so everybody knows, from every live stream we do, we chop up the clips for you. So you will have segments of every single episode on the channel for you to watch. So if you're someone that likes, getting your information in nuggets, you have that. If you're someone like me who likes to listen to long form podcasts, you also have this for your listening pleasure. And we upload it on all the DSPs as well. So just wanted to clarify that. And thank you for this road for 20K subs. Just clarify, guys, it's not my birthday. I'm a March baby. My birthday is March 12th. I'm very proud of being more than March. I'm just trying to say that in the future, there may be some Thursdays where we can't do a live stream. And I know my birthday is in 3.5 weeks on a Thursday. So I'm just preempting. But thank you guys so much. Appreciate you all. And happy birthday in advance to me and my twin brother. Shout out to you, Jackson. You're born in February. Shout out to all the February babies. Shout out to Marcus watching from Ghana. Shout out to John Andrea as well. And shout out to everybody. All 41 of you on the live stream now. My only ask for you all is please, if you've seen the poll, please like the video if you like the content. If you're a new viewer on this channel and you like what you see, it would do me the world if you could subscribe to the channel, and really, really appreciate all the support. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Shout out to Zacchaeus. Shout out to Zacchaeus on the channel. Shout out to Ayodeji on the channel. Shout out to everybody dropping their comments. I appreciate you all. Please do take the time to like the video. Like and share. That'll be much, much appreciated. So anyway, let's get started with today's episode. As usual, with the current method of running the show, after every section, I will speak to everybody about the information on each section. And then, of course, we leave time for people to give their thoughts. Oh, shout out to Ayodeji. Ayodeji, you saw me at the Hotel Arena yesterday. I should have said hello. I'm guessing you were at the basketball show. Yeah, we had to go and watch Basketball do his thing in London. He had a show at the O2 Indigo. So that was a pretty good show. And I Go Save was there as well. Very funny, it must be said. So shout out to you, man. I did you next time. Say hello, man. I'm friendly as, I feel like I'm myself on the podcast as I am in real life. So next time, let's chop it up and say hello to each other. Much appreciated. Okay. So housekeeping done. Oluoke has taken almost 8 minutes on housekeeping as usual. But it is what it is. Okay. So stand-up performance of the week. As I said, this weekend was a much better week for Nigerian footballers. In fact, if you extrapolate that for the last 7 days, it's been a very, very good week for our players. Forget all this news about the World Cup. Club performance-wise, we have a lot of good things to shout about. Stand-up performance for this week, I have to start with our Turkish boys as usual. Shout out to Jackson already beating me to it in terms of one of my stand-up performers. But I will start with the Jaya Olusosun, Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen was in action for Galatasaray on Friday night as they played Eyüpspor, who are 15th in the league, in an early Friday clash. This was a very routine victory as we expected for Galatasaray. They absolutely battered them by 5-1. The most surprising thing was Victor Osimhen did not score in this game, but he did get 2 assists. And if I'm being very honest, the assists were absolutely incredible. In fact, we might be seeing Osimhen add a few more strings to his bow in terms of, his skill set as a striker or an attacking player in general. This game, he got 2 assists. And the first assist was literally in the 2nd minute. Osimhen picked up the ball from the wing. I kid you not, Lazio was playing as a left winger and played in an in-swinging cross straight into the head of his teammate, who literally just had to cushion the header straight into the back of the net. And that was 1-0. If you've not seen the highlights, I urge you to go check it out. You see the way they celebrate Osimhen, like, oh, you had that in your locker? Osimhen's like, of course I did. Like, what you mean? I think if you watch these highlights again, you see the interesting balance in terms of how Osimhen plays football. On one hand, Osimhen is the best pressing striker in football, in my opinion. I don't think anybody comes close. It's not even a debate. Yet again, in this game, go and watch the goals. You'll see his pressing in action again. The amount of times defenders make the mistake and try to pass the ball to their goalkeepers and play the ball short when Osimhen is lurking, it's really alarming. We don't see this in the Turkish league. We saw this in Syria. We've seen it in the Champions League. Even 1 or 2 of his goals this season in the Champions League were literally that way. And yet again, against Eyüpspor, It's 2-0. They're winning the game. They're thrashing their opponents. And then guess what the defender tries to do? He tries to pass the ball back to his goalkeeper. Osimhen literally intercepts the ball. And that's where I said the good about Osimhen is. And then when it comes to the bad, hear me out. I don't think we've ever seen a striker dribble goalkeepers so often without scoring. The amount of times Osimhen takes the ball away from a goalkeeper, but either fails to angle his run or takes the ball towards the corner flag. We've seen this at AFCON. We've seen this in Turkey. Even this game again today. Before the goal safe, he even dribbled the goalkeeper and put the ball towards the net, but there wasn't enough force, and the defender literally cleared it out of the line. Yet again, for this goal, Osimhen dribbled the goalkeeper, and this time I don't want to criticize him because he took his touch, but he had to turn back in. He might not have had as much space if it was a top 5 league, but he was then able to pass the ball to Marokadi, and Marokadi just put the ball straight to the net. Yeah, exactly like my space plays just said. So really good assist by Victor Osimhen. But on the other hand, I want you to watch the amount of times he dribbled the goalkeeper without scoring. I think it's an interesting thing. But look, it's VO9, star player, star striker, and he did his thing yet again. And I really love the selflessness nature in which he plays for Galatasaray. One thing we cannot accuse him of, we know how much he loves Galatasaray. I don't know whether it's the environment or, just being revered and praised in that kind of level. But there's something about the environment that he really loves in Turkey, and he clearly shows it on the pitch. So I want to give Osimhen his credit, especially because it's also good that they played that game on Friday, and we all know why. There is a big Champions League game for Galatasaray literally tomorrow, which we'll get into, where he's going to play against Luciano Spalletti, who, of course, is the manager with whom he won the Scudetto and the Capocannoniere in Italy almost 3 years ago. I was looking through my images and I was like, damn, we went to Napoli almost 3 years ago. Where the hell is time flying? So very good performance from Victor Osimhen, and now he's had a goal contribution in every single league game since he returned from AFCON almost a month ago. 3 goals and 3 assists in his past four league games. And for a striker that's that prolific, I think it's very impressive with the amount of assists he's also getting. So that's why I said he's adding more strings to his bow as a player, and long may it continue. So that's it for Galatasaray. Their charge towards yet another Turkish league title continues. But to mention another standout performer, we will praise him, but we know his team slacked. Paul Onuachu. Paul Onuachu keeps scoring for Trabzonspor. On Friday night, Saturday evening, they had a very tricky tie. Trabzonspor are third in the table, and they played Fenerbahce, who are second in the league. This game was a do-or-die affair for Trabzonspor if they wanted to remain in the contention or in the hunt for the title. But this is where you realize the pedigree Galatasaray and Fenerbahce have over the rest of the league. As I said, go and look at the league table from the last 2 seasons in terms of Galatasaray and Fenerbahce's points total versus the rest. Last season, I'm pretty sure Fenerbahce got almost 95 points, and they still didn't win the league. That's how much better they are than everybody. But Galatasaray obviously a step above slightly. And yet again, we saw Trabzonspor play in this game, and they came with their grit. They came with their opportunities. They tried their best. In fact, Trabzonspor took the lead in this game. Chibuike Nwaiwu, who I'm going to get into, center-back that all Nigerians should be tracking. Trust me, he's going to be a Super Eagle very soon. I wasn't even sure about his ball-playing skills. Center-back, 21 years old. Moved to Trabzonspor in January, and I started and played every single league game. In the first 10 minutes of this game, go and watch the assist he played for Trabzonspor's opening goal. He spread a diagonal ball straight from defense all the way in between the lines, and literally for the Trabzonspor striker to just run past the defenders and latch onto the ball, and then he lobbed the goalkeeper to make it 1-0. But we know Fenerbahce are a big side, and they do not lie down easily. We saw Anderson Talisca make it 1-1 very quickly. Fantastic goal. Then we saw Fenerbahce make it 2-1 away. Now, here's where we now have to praise Paul Onuachu. If you see the goal he scored, like Onuachu, 16 league goals, Doppy in the league, and what a fantastic header. Receives the cross from the left wing, this time an in-swinger. And if you see the velocity of Paul Onuachu's header, he noted the ball. He was almost at the beginning of the penalty box, and he headed the ball into the ground, and the force of the shot was so heavy that it just bounced in and went to the net and made it 2-2. And Trabzonspor at that moment thought, you know what, we might have a chance to win this game, and they both had a few opportunities back and forth. But Fenerbahce's strength in numbers told. Marco Asensio, who's absolutely doppy in the Turkish league. Just go and watch the Turkish league team sometimes. You will be wondering how many OG players you love that are playing in that league. It's quite funny to observe. But Marco Asensio scored a fantastic winner, and he's absolutely destroying the Turkish league as well. I think he has like 13 goals and 10 assists or something. And that was how Fenerbahce snatched the game at Trabzonspor. So this now leaves our Trabzonspor boys 10 points behind Galatasaray. And you have to say there is no world where Galatasaray are going to lose 4 games or drop 10 points between now and the end of the season in a Turkish league where they're vastly superior to the vast majority of the opposition. But Onuachu, on the other hand, we have to praise him for scoring in back-to-back games. He's now scored in 6 games. See, all 6 games he's played since he came back from AFCON, Onuachu has bagged. You know, also scoring in AFCON and scoring the penalty against Morocco. He's probably done a word for his confidence. And like I always tell you, Onuachu is a king in any place that's not a top 5 league. Onuachu is going to duppy those defenders. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. For him to already have 16 league goals, he's well on course for the Golden Boot. He will fight it out with Shomadov. I'm sure Osimhen will try to catch up as much as he can, but he's got the Champions League to worry about for now. So, Onuachu, well done for you. 5 in 4 games in the league and 1 in the Turkish Cup coming off the bench. So, really, really impressive performance for Onuachu. And he did his best, even though his teammates cannot take him over the line. So, I wanted to really, really call out Onuachu for his fantastic performance. And also Chibuike Nwaiwu. You know, I'm telling you, this guy is going to be a force for us to reckon with. And it fills me a lot of confidence when I know that we already have Bassi, Benjamin Frederick, Igor Ugbo, and Chibuike Nwaiwu. So any center back, you cannot do Shakara for us. We're not going to hear it. Yes, there could be 1 or 2 that could probably improve us, but I like our talent pool on that area of the pitch. So really, really good to see. And I can see Jackson also said his standout performer was Paul Onuachu. He was amazing, honestly. Shout out to MySpace also commenting on the Osimhen assist. Jackson says, Victor is getting better as a team player. I think the Turkish fans love him. So where you loved, you give your best. Very, very well said. And we'll get into the red card. Chelsea, amen. Shout out to you on the channel. My brother, I already started the podcast saying we've not seen any credible information around the FIFA World Cup. I know, even me that have set my expectations, I'll be a hypocrite if I stood here and told you that I've not been looking on the websites just to see if there's any positive news, because Nigeria making the World Cup is an absolute game changer for us as Nigerians, us as Africans, and even this channel. Can you imagine us getting to cover our national team in the World Cup, like after we missed the last one? So I've been checking, but like I said, to set expectations, I don't think it's going to happen in our favor. And I would just accept that it's not happening so that if by mistake it happens, you get excited. That's basically what I'll say. So, my brother, that's the news we have so far on that. So I spoke on Chibuike Nwaiwu. Another person, of course, I have to speak about, and I'm sure you saw the video I dropped on Friday, Ademola Lookman. What can we say about Atletico Madrid, man? They're such a Jekyll and Hyde team. Like, guys, what is wrong with Atletico Madrid? Like, they're just dumpy teams in the Copa del Rey. First of all, Lookman's debut, they beat Real Betis 5-0 away. Then they go and play the same Real Betis at home in the league, and they lose 1-0. They let Anthony score. Lookman has a goal disallowed, and they just look toothless. And then on Thursday, we watched them put Barcelona and their highline to the sword, 4-0. Absolute spanking, 4 goals in the first half. Lookman got an assist. Lookman got a goal. Lookman was instrumental and played Barcelona's defense off the park. Eric Garcia ever got sent off. Like, he got an own goal. Like, Lookman could have even got the goal for that Eric Garcia own goal in the first place. And that was Thursday. Like, what an amazing introduction to Spain. Copa del Rey ways. But yet again, yesterday, Atletico Madrid are third. They know they cannot afford to drop any more points. And they lose away to Rayo Vallecano by 3-0. 3-0. The only caveat I could give Atletico Madrid is the fact that they know that they're probably safe in third place. And they know that the La Liga title is probably gone. So Atletico Madrid know that they have a crucial game against Club Brugge on Wednesday, which will be played in Belgium. So Simeone might have thought, I might as well just rest my starters. Julian Alvarez was on the bench. Osimhen was on the bench. I said Osimhen. Lookman was on the bench. Giuliano Simeone, I don't even think Giuliano Simeone started the game. Like, he literally put all of these superstars on the bench. It was crazy, especially Lookman and Julian Alvarez. He did not bring Lookman on until the 63rd minute. He didn't even bring Alvarez on to the 56th minute. He brought Lenormand on, one of their starting centre backs, in the 56th minute, along with Vargas, when they're already getting thrashed. So I just want to add that caveat that maybe it's the Champions League angle. But bro, we cannot be watching Lookman duppy the Copa del Rey, and then we're waiting for his first La Liga goal. You know, the new king of Spain. I haven't worn my Spain jersey that I bought for that. To confess, I bought that Spain jersey to watch the Euro 2024 final against England. That's how much of an England hater I am. But we wanted to watch the new king of Spain. You know, let him open up his account in La Liga. And yet again, we got Simeone playing games with La Liga. It's so fascinating to watch, man. So we still have to call out Lookman for his standout performance in the game against Barcelona, because it's not every day you get to do that. It's still Barcelona, one of the biggest clubs in the world, the current double champions in Spain. They literally went out before the Champions League final because they have an incompetent defense. That's how good Barcelona are. But of course, Hansi Flick is willing to die and live by his high line. And my word, Atletico Madrid use combination play to finish them on Thursday. But on Sunday, we have to say they somehow now lost for the second time in a row. And it now means that Rayo Vallecano have moved out to the relegation zone. And Atletico Madrid have now moved to fourth place, which means Villarreal have gone ahead of them. That's how bad they've been in La Liga. Like, I don't even know what to say, man. Like, it's just so bad. Barcelona are playing Girona right now, by the way, and it is currently 0-0. But this now means that Atletico Madrid are 15 points behind Real Madrid, and they will likely end today 17 points behind Barcelona. So La Liga is gone. So I guess from that perspective, we kind of get it. But they're only 4 points ahead of Real Betis, who are fifth. So they have to be careful, because it's not guaranteed that Spain will get 5 Champions League spots instead of 4, you know, especially because Villarreal and Athletic Bilbao have already bowed out of the Champions League. So they have to be very, very careful and need to focus. But I get it for the sake of the next few days, because they need to beat Club Brugge by any means. They cannot have any slip-ups in that. Even though we know Club Brugge also upset Atalanta last year. This is quite interesting for Lookman, because last year, Lookman's Atalanta were doing well. Then they got Club Brugge in the first knockout round, and Club Brugge knocked them out. So, Lookman, lightning must not strike twice. Let's go and make this Champions League debut for Atletico Madrid and show Club Brugge what they're missing. So, really looking forward to that game, and let's see what happens in that. Yeah, like you guys said, man, Simeone is not interested in La Liga at all, man. I'm telling you. By space says Atletico are tied with Valencia. Not Valencia. I think you mean Villarreal. Yeah, Valencia. You know, we track Valencia very well because of Umar Sadiq. They are 2 points ahead of the relegation zone, and their win yesterday was incredible. But you're right that they're level on points with Villarreal and just 4 points ahead of Real Betis. So let's see on that one. Jackson says Simeone is keeping players for the playoffs. Ademola was on fire. Yeah, exactly like you said. So let's see how the game against Club Brugge goes. If they do not duppy at Club Brugge, then Simeone, we're going to have to ask some questions, my brother. But once again, we want to highlight the fact that Lookman had an exceptional game against one of the best teams in the world, even despite the mishap over the weekend. Another player that had a good midweek before the mishap of the weekend was Fisayo Dele-Bashiru. You guys know me on this channel. I'm a big FDB fan. FDB played in the Coppa Italia against Bologna for Lazio. Mauricio Sarri and co, they're struggling in the league, but in terms of the cups, they're doing pretty well. And yet again, they managed to beat Bologna in the quarterfinal of the Coppa Italia. It was 1-1, and it was actually Fisayo Dele-Bashiru who assisted Noslin to slam home the equalizer. Really, really good wing play by Fisayo Dele-Bashiru. Exactly what I want to see from him. Use your physicality, use your technical skills to body these defenders. And that's exactly what he did against the Bologna left back. Bodied him, doppied him, and played a fantastic cross straight into the box for Noslin to make it 1-1. They had to wait to take its penalties, but luckily they dispatched Bologna on penalties, which means that they have now qualified for the Coppa Italia semi-finals, so they have a chance to win a trophy. The good news is Fisayo Dele-Bashiru then started over the weekend as Lazio played Atalanta at home at the Olimpico. But yet again, very inconsistent side. They lost 2-0 to Atalanta. And I must say, Atalanta look very, very good. Like when you look at the goals they scored and the ways they played, you know, like fantastic goals all around. Was it Zalewski that scored? He used to be at Roma. Yeah, so he loves scoring against Lazio, obviously, because their rivals. But really, really good performance from Atalanta. But shame that Fisayo and Co could not get the 3 points over the weekend. In more positive news, sticking with La Liga, Umar Sadiq scored over the weekend for Valencia. It was his second since he made his move back to Valencia in the January transfer window. He came off the bench in the 60th minute. Valencia were already beating Levante by 1-0. By the way, go and watch Ramzani's goal for Valencia. I am begging you guys, go and watch this goal. It's one of the best goals I have ever seen. Oh, okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but it was fantastic football play from the back straight to the front. One-touch football, and if you see Ramzani's finish, straight into the top corner. Honestly, it was fantastic. And he now did a couple bicycle kicks and backflips. And honestly, it was the kind of celebration to match that kind of performance. So really, really fantastic to see by Ramzani. And then Umar Sadiq, while Levante are chasing their equalizer, is the 78th minute of the game. The Valencia goalkeeper punts the ball straight down the pitch. It's literally Umar Sadiq and one Levante defender. The Levante defender needs to get in the gym because the way Umar Sadiq bodied him off the ball, he even thought that the ref would give him a foul. But the ref was like, play on. And all Umar Sadiq had to do was take 3 more strides and go and watch his finish. He absolutely slapped the ball straight into the net. Like, fantastic finish, man. Like, honestly, beautiful to see by Umar Sadiq. And as I always say, he's such a lovely guy. So really, really good performance to see there. I'm very, very glad for him to get his second goal since he moved back to Valencia. So what does this mean? Valencia are now 14th. They're 2 points safe from the relegation zone. But remember what I was saying about how crazy La Liga is. Guys, if you go and look at the La Liga table, Real Mallorca are 18th with 24 points. They are literally 6 points separating 10th place Osasuna with 30 points and Mallorca in the relegation zone with 24 points. There are at least 3 teams on 26 points, including Sevilla, including Valencia, including the Deportivo Alaves. There are at least 2 teams on 25 points, Elche and Rayo Vallecano, and they have Real Mallorca on 24 points. So literally, one win could take a team from 18th all the way to 12th. So it's going to be such a bloodbath. This is literally like the league of the mids. Like, in fact, we could even stretch it further. Celta Vigo have 34 points in 7th place. Espanyol have 35 points in 6th place, which means that the difference between 6th place Espanyol in 35 points and Mallorca in 18th spot is 11 points. That's how close the mid-table. Everybody below Real Betis, basically, they're just doing whatever. Like, they're basically struggling to win. Majority of them have either lost majority of their games or drawn quite a few games. But let's just say La Liga this season is a 2-pack mid. Forget what people are saying. And this is what makes it more annoying that Atletico Madrid are losing games to teams they should not be losing. Because apart from Madrid, Barcelona, Villarreal, Atletico Madrid, and Real Betis, none of the other teams are serious. And to tell you how unserious this league is, Villarreal, who are 3rd in the league, finished bottom or second to bottom of the Champions League group stage. So La Liga, man, I don't know what's going on, man. But you cannot keep promoting only Real Madrid and Barcelona and expecting your league to succeed. Because the evidence is showing us that a lot of these your teams are a 2-pack ass. Brighton will beat pretty much every team in La Liga apart from the top 4. And I can say that with confidence. Quote me. All those people that like to say La Liga is the technical league, that was not my problem, man. These guys are not serious, I'm telling you. Not serious at all. But anyway, shout out to Umar Sadiq for getting the goal. Da Vinci, shout Da Vinci, able to make it this time. Greetings, my bro. Why do I get this feeling that Umar Sadiq is the La Liga Timo Puki? A guy that will get 20 goals in La Liga second division and then score 5 in La Liga. I know exactly what you mean. Who's that striker I was talking about? Timo Puki is a good shout. Adam Armstrong, we know their types. Like Ebanks Blake in Wolves back in the day. These strikers, they're too good for the second division, but not good enough for the first division. I hate to say it, but we've got a similar thing with Toluwa Kodare. Toluwa Kodare, before his Belgium breakout season last year, his best season was for Amiens in the second division. And you have to say that when we're celebrating someone scoring 2 Premier League goals after 26 games, look, Argo Diary is never going to be a Premier League striker. Let's just put it that way. But I think he should do what Onuachu does. Go back to Belgium and go and be a king. Go to Portugal, go and play for Braga or somebody and see what you can do, because I hate to say it, but it's not looking good. But anyway, shout out to the gang. Another person who stood out this weekend, you will not believe it. AFCON debutant Salim Fago Lawal scored his first goal for Viktoria Plzen in their Czech Republic League game over the weekend as they beat I've forgotten the team. They beat them 2-1. I think it was Sigma. They beat them by 2-1. And I must say, I was very impressed by Salim Fago's goal. It was a corner kick, a bit of a box scramble, but the ball came out to him, and with his left foot, he lashed the ball straight into the top corner of the net. And you could see what that goal did for his confidence. He was so happy with himself and so joyous. Like I always say, when you sign for a new club, the quicker and faster you can get up to speed, the better for you. So really, really good to see from Salim Fago. And look, I'll be honest, I heard when I was in Morocco, Salim Fago is a talent too. Obviously, we know he didn't deserve to be in the AFCON squad. But I've heard that there's something about this guy that's gonna be, special. So let's just wait and see as things continue with Salim Fago. And then finally, I wanted to bring a new Nigerian player to your radar, Omar Abubakar. He plays for Famalicão in the Portuguese league. He was on the score sheet for Famalicão last week, Monday, as they beat AVS Football SAD. He has now been on the bench for them for most parts of the season, but he started the last 2 games before this weekend's game, where unfortunately they lost to Sporting Lisbon, who are, of course, one of the giants of the Portuguese league. But we'll continue to track him and see how well he does in terms of his performances. So that's it in terms of the standout performance for the week. Just before I get to Starboy of the week, Sammy put a message about this whole petition. Like I said, guys are always wasting their time. I don't even know where this information is from, but it says NFF concede defeat. Would they not concede defeat? Where was the information we believed in the first place? Look at Shehu Diko changing his tone today, saying we've done all we can. Brother, why did you fail to equip the team to prosecute the World Cup qualifiers normally? Where's our pitch? You hired 3 or 4 coaches to prosecute World Cup qualifiers. Now you want to use Magu Magu. Which way did FIFA not help us? They deducted points from South Africa. We still did not qualify. They even removed points from second place teams to make sure we enter as one of the 4th best place teams. We entered second week. We still did not beat Congo. We watched Congo in this AFCON. Nobody needs to tell us we're much better than them. But guess what? We did not beat them. So who are we to now be complaining, trying to use Mago Mago to go to here? We have no excuse, no rights. In fact, if I'm Nike, I will half Nigeria's contract because you're a big disappointment. What do you mean you're missing World Cups? Then Pini could not be going around telling us if I was NFF president would have made it. Keep quiet, my friend. When you were NFF president, we not miss AFCON. 2022 World Cup, were you not the NFF president when we missed it? Where you're going to say, do you want to miss for Nigeria to not be in Qatar? Story man upon story man upon story man. As if we don't know that you that inserted Gusau there. What things Zamfara don't do for Nigeria football before? That you put the man that was head of Zamfara FA to become NFL president. And we're now complaining about the fact we didn't make the World Cup when we know we have a squad that's talented to do a lot of work there. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But like I said, nobody should worry about this World Cup. Focus on watching the other African countries. We'll support all our African brothers. I have my Ghana jersey ready when they play England. So just believe, remove your mind from it. Let's use this pain to remove all those as our men. You see, I even think they've used this petition as a distraction so nobody resigns. Because Nigeria is the only place that there's no consequence for failure. In fact, the person that succeeded the most, Eric Shell, is who Gusau is telling us there's no need to renegotiate contract. My friend, will you get out of here? But anyway, shout out to the boys for the standout performers of the week. And Starboy of the week this week is going to be a shared one as well. I think we had quite a few players do pretty well for their club sides. And it's been a tough one in terms of selecting who should be the Starboy of the week, if I'm being brutally honest. I think bronze medal this week, we have to share it with Salim Fago. Exactly like Timmy just said, Salim Fago is one of the best players at the Under-20 World Cup. By the way, I forgot to highlight that. I did watch him in the Under-20 World Cup, with them Daniel Dagger as well. So we saw glimpses there. In fact, Salim Fago was much better than Barubo. Barubo that they're telling us going one of these super strikers. We haven't seen it click for him in Europe yet. Yes, he's scoring hat-tricks in the Norwegian second division. But you have to say Salim Fago has definitely developed further than him. Of course, the best of the bunch so far will be Sani Suleiman, who was tapped up by RB Leipzig, but we're yet to see him play. But once RB Leipzig start playing him or giving opportunities, we'll of course bring that to you. But I think it's going to be very difficult for him to break into the team when you consider the young wingers that RB Leipzig already currently possess. But bronze medal this week, we're going to give Salim Fago to share it, scoring your opening goal for a new club, Viktoria Plzen, who are one of the giants of the Czech Republic League. You also have Europa League commitments coming up, which are excited to watch you play. And I just like that he's broken his duck and can now focus on having a very fruitful career over the next year or two in Czech Republic and hopefully move on to better things. So shout out to you, Salim Fago, for opening your accounts for Viktoria Plzen. And also we have to give a shout out in the bronze medal category to Umar Sadiq. It's not every day you get to score in La Liga and also help your club climb out of relegation zone. As you guys know, because I started watching football in year 2001, I have a soft spot for Valencia. For a long time, they used to be my team on FIFA, even after when they've slapped David Silva, David Villa, Fernando Morientes, Baraja, Albelda, So it really saddens me to see Valencia struggling right now because when I started watching football, they were Champions League finalists back to back, 2000 and 2001. But anyway, Omar Sadiq is there to try and restore the faith and the feeling. Wearing the number 6 shirt on his back, he puts them on his back and managed to score the second goal to clinch their away win over Levante. So, Omar Sadiq, you also get a bronze medal for your exploits this weekend. Now, silver medal this week, I think we have to give it to Paul Onuachu. Paul Onuachu scoring yet again another fantastic goal for Trabzonspor. 16th goals in the league, top goal scorer, and scored in every single game he's played for Trabzonspor. He's basically doing his job. In fact, he's even got the captain's armband now. That's how important he is for Trabzonspor. And I love the way he's just damaging and destroying the Turkish league. So long may it continue. So Onuachu, you get a silver medal. Now, gold medal this week, I believe it's important. It will be shared. First of all, the first person that will be sharing the gold medal is Ademola Lookman. Despite the results on the weekend, we know what happened on Thursday. When you destroy Barcelona by 4-0 in the first leg of a Copa del Rey tie, especially considering that it was Barcelona who knocked you out of the Copa del Rey last season after you drew 4-4 with them at their ground and then lost 1-0 at the Metropolitano. For you to exert revenge like that and put 4 unreplied goals past them. Yes, a bit lucky with the VAR disallowing, was it Lewandowski's? No, Kubasi's consolation goal. But the way Lookman destroyed at Barcelona, one goal, assisted Julian Alvarez, who had not scored in a while, to literally score his first goal since the beginning of December. When you watch Lookman's goal, is that Lookman cash money finish with his right foot. Literally the finish he used to dominate the Europa League final, as I like to reference, So cash money Lookman, what again another performance we have to say, and just fantastic all-around performance. And you can already see that the Atleti fans and the country have taken to Lookman like a dog to water. Hopefully Simeone will allow him shine in La Liga and not bring him on when they're already losing 2-0 to Rayo Vallecano. We look forward to his exploits tomorrow on Wednesday when they play Club Brugge in Belgium. And the other person that'll be sharing the gold medal, of course, Ijaya Olusosun. Football is not all about goals. When you destroy your opponents by 5-1 to continue to dominate the Turkish league, and you get yourself a pair of assists, which shows the fantastic amount of, or which really bodes well for you being a team player. Like when you see the assists, as I said, for anyone who's joined the podcast while we've been going on, look at the fantastic cross for the first goal. I promise you guys, go and watch the goal. Osimhen, I didn't even know Osimhen could cross like that. Put it on a plate for his teammate to literally just cushion it into the net, literally after 2 minutes in the game. And yet again, he dribbled the goalkeeper, but he realized he had no angle to finish, turned the ball back and passed to Mario Icardi, who was in a better position to finish. And that was that. So for your 2 assists, Victor Osimhen, you are also a Starboy of the week. So our 2 most important star players, we're not going to fight over any medals this week, like AFCON. Ademola Lookman and Victor Osimhen, you both are the star boy of the week for this week. Keep up the good performances and keep putting Nigeria on the map. And congratulations for your fantastic performance over the past 7 days. So that's it in terms of star boy of the week. Just to go through a few more comments. Someone mentioned Mubarak Suleiman for Czech Republic. Thanks for that. I'm pretty sure we mentioned it last week. But good to know on Mubarak as well. You have to say that Slavia Prague are literally collecting Nigerian players like the Infinity Stone. So long may it continue. Iwobi was not bad for Fulham. You're right. We'll get into that in the weekend player reviews because it was an FA Cup game. Timmy mentioned about Salim Fago in the under 20, and he said, to be honest, the under 20 set was very strong. I think they were okay, to be honest. I watched that tournament. They were not amazing. Or are we mistaken in 2023? There was one set that knocked out Argentina on home soil. They were good. The last under 20 team, they were not good. We have to be honest. They were okay. But the way they got battered by better opposition, it left a lot to be desired, it must be said. But yeah, we'll continue to see. Charles says, please, all hands on deck. We must not let Gusau near the NFF office for the second time. I'm telling you, in fact, if Gusau was a man with any shame, he will resign. Since you've been NFF president, you cannot only keep trying to just take the credit for finishing third and second in AFCON. I was in that place for the second. I was in Morocco. I didn't even see Gusau there. In fact, I'll argue that nobody is more important to our success than Eric Shaw. You know, Gusau's not been good at all, you know. So let's see what happens. And yeah, thanks for the clarification. Yes, it was the 2023 set where Frederick and Tochukwu came. I think that was the set that beat Argentina. You're right. And home soil as well. Because they were really underrating us. I remember watching it. But the last one I saw with the under 20 boys was not good at all. They did not do well at all. They were all right at best. The one that Parubo did not score any goal in all the games. And we were looking very wishy-washy. That one was not good, it must be said. Shout out to you, Elias, for joining the stream. Shout out to Charles. Charles, always with the knowledge. Very, very good ball knowledge. Guys, everyone asking about the World Cup qualifiers. I've said twice already. No official information. We do not know. As I've said, for your peace of mind, do not bank any hopes on Nigeria making the World Cup. Like I said from the beginning, I was very skeptical because we did not see this from any official correspondence. It seemed like a bit of a straw man's argument for a petition. And I told you guys already, FIFA do not apply these nationality laws to the same stringent way, you know, that countries do, for example. So that's why I always thought it wasn't going to happen, you know. But here we are again, anxious and looking for another backdoor. But I doubt it's going to happen. So I would say, my brother, move on. We watch our African brothers. Ask Elias. Elias is from Somalia. Elias can educate us on how it feels to support other African teams in the World Cup, since this is going to be our third experience after 2006, 2018, and now 2022. So he can tell us about that situation and we'll figure it out. And he can prepare us for the USA tournament. So that's what we know. Obasi, shout out to you. Said great job, Olu. Well done. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the support. God bless you. Adeola, you're right. That's the one with Harcourt. Ebenezer Harcourt. Yeah, very good goalkeeper. Although he was really bad in the Chan last year, but that was not his fault. You know, MPFL, let's not even get into it. Go and check where Rivers United finished out of all the Champions League sides and 16 teams. Let's just say out of 16 teams, they were ranked 16th. If you look at all the groups, you know. But here we are anyway. Like I said, like Obasi said, I think they are Congo to playoffs. And look, they deserve it, man. They beat Cameroon. They beat Nigeria. They battled Senegal in a group and only lost in the final game. Like, figure it out, man. Like, Nigeria, go and lick your wounds. World Cup qualifiers going to start in September next year anyway, 2027. Although it might be AFCON and qualifiers for 2028 AFCON. So we'll see what happens. But Nigeria, face our front. We didn't do what we need to do, you know. And that's just the way it is, man. We need to figure it out. People asking about Eric Shell. Honestly, I think it's all fake news. I've not seen the Athletic or any credible channel mention this whole Marseille Eric Shell thing. Let's be honest, it's very unlikely. I do think Eric Shell is in high demand, especially in Africa. And we have to be careful to make sure we don't lose him to an African team. But I cannot see any world where we lose him to Marseille. I'll be very, very surprised if Marseille appoints Eric Shell, considering the amount of pressure and turbulence that's going on in Marseille right now. So I would say ignore that news. This fake news stuff needs to stop with our outlets, man. We really, really need for it to go. Exactly as Ilya said, as long as Ethiopia isn't doing well, I'll support my African brothers. No, that one is fair. I don't really know the geopolitics between Somalia and Ethiopia or Eritrea, but, you know, I'm sure it's a bit of a precarious one. Exactly like John Andrea says, imagine being Cameroon and Nigeria, yet losing to Jamaica. It's not possible, you know. But let's see what happens with the Congo slots play Jamaica. And if they take Jamaica for granted, they will lose because the game is going to be played in Mexico. And we all know that the CONCACAF teams are used to playing in that time zone. So we have to be very, very careful. But I'll be honest, Congo is taking them 54 years. They deserve, let them go. 50, is it 54? Yeah, 1974. 52 years since they last made a World Cup when they were called Zaire. I beg Nigeria, go and sit down somewhere, man. Next time, don't waste Nike's money, man. You know, so it is what it is. And even me, I'm looking forward to watching the African teams and how they do, you know, so shout out to them. Everyone's saying FIFA have not given a verdict. I agree. FIFA have not yet given a verdict. But what I'm telling you is set your expectations so you are not coming to come and cry. It's very unlikely it will happen. But if it happens, I will be the first to be jumping for joy because we know what possibilities that opens up for all of us. And who doesn't want to watch Nigeria in the World Cup in the most important stage of them all? You know, look at the gifts so important got me in my life before. It's because of the World Cup. You see that JJ Okocha signed post with his signature from France 98. Those are the kind of things. If your players do not do what needs to be done, there's a certain kind of World Cup reverence that can only be gotten for playing the World Cup. With or without the lack of hype in America, that's just the way things go. Shout out to you, Oguntigbeju Adebayo. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for the awesome words. He says, keep up the good work. Great analyst. Thank you so much. That means a lot. And thank you guys for all the feedback and for talking in the chats. This is really, really amazing to see. Ania Agboso, thanks for the clarification, Adeola. I know that name as well. Didn't he go somewhere in Europe and end up somewhere? And it wasn't really going well for him. And Timmy, thanks for clarifying. Yes, Hakot is still so young that we should see. He has a lot of time to figure it out and improve. So let's see what happens. Elias said it should have been Curacao. Exactly. Like, bro, I love World Cup so much. I follow all the qualifiers for every continent. Like, literally, Jamaica had it in the bag. It should have been Curacao. And then they messed up their last game. So here they are. But I do think Jamaica, if they're underrated, they could surprise somebody. But let's be honest. I do think DR Congo should be beating them if Jamaica end up playing them. How can Africa have 10 teams in the World Cup and Nigeria is not one of them? It's kind of crazy, isn't it? But here we are, man. Here we are. Chidi Steve, he says it's likely, bro. If there's no stop-stance position, would have been thrown out. We shall see, my brother, man. Like I said, if it works in our favor, we'll be there. But I'm just telling you what I think. I'm not convinced that we're going to see this petition go in our favor. How often do you see teams go through petition to enter the World Cup? We shall see. But we'll be there if it works out in our favor. So let's see. Anyway, shout out to everybody in the chat. Moving on to Gift Orban. I'm sure you all have seen the video and the clips. One of the most bizarre stories from the weekend. Verona were in action in Serie A playing against Parma. As you know, Verona at the moment are rooted to the bottom of the league. So this is a club that needs to win matches as soon as possible. They are literally rooted to the bottom of the table alongside Pisa. Verona and Pisa both have 15 points, and they are 6 points away from the nearest challengers, who are Fiorentina, who managed to get a very, very rare win away at Como yesterday, which is very surprising for me. Now, they were playing against Parma, who had 26 points. Parma, of course, had Carlos Cuesta. Arsenal fans, you know Carlos Cuesta, the young fine boy manager that used to be in Arteta's coaching staff and has now moved to Parma to be the head coach. So this game, literally from the first, I think it was the 11th minute of the game, Gift Orban looked like he was being fouled, which is what is crazy about this effort. He looked like he was being fouled, you know, and the referee blew for a foul against Orban. I don't know if it's because he's muscular and he looks really big, but you could see Orban get frustrated at the lack of a call from the ref. Now, Orban was visibly upset and reacted. You know, I don't know what was said. I don't speak Italian, and we didn't hear what word Orban said. Now, hear me out. If he said something abusive, we can understand if he was sent off. But it did not look like that. It looked like he just reacted like, ref, what's going on? 11th minute. How can you be allowing this happen now? Immediately after, I kid you not, this ref showed Gift Orban a red card in the 11th minute of the game. Like, one thing I hate in football is referees not realizing that they're refs. Stay out of the game. It's not about you. This is a team that are literally fighting for their life. They were already losing 1-0, and they ended up losing the game 2-1. Now, I know there's a Gift Urban account on Twitter, but ignore that. That's a fake account. Gift Urban only has Instagram. I saw OJB confirm that. But anyway, we know that we've not heard anything from the Italian Federation. We know they apologized to Kalulu after they gave him an inadvertent red card in their game against Lazio for Juventus. But it's made us feel like the only possible reason, the only thing that is making me think this could have happened is if there was abusive language done. But if there's no abusive language done, let's just say we need to hear as soon as possible from the Italian Referees Federation, because they need to clarify and rescind that red card straight away. If I'm Verona, I will make sure that I appeal that card for what it was done. But also, Verona, as a result of that loss, they did not send their coach to comment on the game at full time as a sign of protest. They only released a statement. The statement did not mention racism, but it said a very serious lack of respect towards a team, a city, a community, and a fan base. We always accept mistakes just as we make them ourselves. However, we believe that the sending off after 10 minutes play, based on what was seen on the field and what we were told, is a signal of disrespect. And I totally agree with Verona. Like, you're a team that's already fighting for your life and just finding any way that you can get wins. And then this kind of nonsense is happening to you. Like, it's why you can see the speculation about racism or if something Urban did that did not work out well, you know. But I must say that I urge you guys to watch the incident. And it's just very, very sad that this was something that we saw happen. We know with abuse, we've seen this happen. You know, Lewis Dunn got sent off in 2024 against Nottingham Forest when Anthony Taylor gave a penalty and he said something to him after a VAR check. We also know a year ago when Jude Bellingham was sent off after saying something assaultive towards the ref against Osasuna. But there's clearly something that's dipping, and I really hate some referees' main character energy. We already know most of you refs became refs because you're not good enough to be footballers, but you wanted to be in charge. Same way we saw that our Ghana guy in AFCON. This thing needs to stop. We respect refs that do their job, but the mark of a great ref is for us not to be thinking about your decisions during them after the game. So, Mr. Referee in Italy, I hope you figure it out. And of course, I'm hoping that Verona appealed this card and we will see it rescinded as soon as possible. Because Verona, let's just say, if Gift Urban does not play any fixtures for them, they are in big soup. Their next game is another away game against fellow promoted side Sassuolo on Friday. But Sassuolo are flying. Sassuolo are up to 10th. So let's just say if Urban does not play that game, there is no way they're going to win that match. So hopefully something will be sorted out sooner rather than later. So that was the Gift Urban incident. Let me go through a few comments. I just want to look on the chat at the moment. I can see that. How many likes do we have? It can't be 0. No way, guys. I can see almost 50 of you on the chat. Okay, that's 2 likes. We're learning. Shout out to everybody, man. Aaron, shout out to you, man. Shout out to Aaron on the chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let me highlight the super chat. Aaron, shout out to you being here. I appreciate you as always. May your cup never run dry. May you be blessed. May all you desire over the next year and beyond come to fruition in Jesus' name. And thank you so much for the way you're supporting the channel. I support us. By God's grace, God will support you in every way that you desire in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Okay, before we move on, just to go through a few comments. Da Vinci said, if FIFA hand the ticket to Nigeria, I swear shame will chase me, but I will run faster. Da Vinci is so funny, man. But on the real, my mind is on 2030. Hope Motsepe doesn't put us in a West African zone then. Well said. Thank you so much, Da Vinci. Guys, I urge you to watch my video I did looking towards the 2030 talent pool of Nigeria. I even did it before the AFCON. And that was even a period where we were not even sure about how talented our squad was. I should even redo it at some point this year so that everybody can calm their nerves and see how good we're looking over the next 4 or 5 years. The only problems is we need a few more camps. So all these Nwaneri and co, let's see what happens with them because you need them to be in. You know, so let's see what happens. Everybody focus. Now, I would like to think that the FA presidents in Africa, some of them are clearly mumus, but there's only a limit that a mumu can be taken. If Motsepe tries any regional qualification like he's been doing for the women's game, We know African FA presidents don't care about the women's game. That's why they're allowed to do a lot of nonsense. But I'm telling you, if he tries in the men's game, let's just say anything that happens to Mercepe, you should accept it. Because you're not going to tell me that he put South Africa in qualification with all those useless South African teams so they can be qualifying anyhow. The same way you are saying you want to do regional and Nations League. I'm sure that Nations League regional nonsense is going to be struck down. The only thing that I can see working in his favor is if he says the cost of travel. But bro, West Africa and North Africa, we have the best teams. We can travel between ourselves. You, Southern Africa and East Africa, figure your shit out. It's not our fault that there's only 2 or 3 teams that are standing out from where you are. But he cannot try this regional nonsense for World Cups. The best 10 teams, and it must be done by ranking. I cannot see a world where he's able to implement that nonsense, and we agree. So that's the one thing that is giving me confidence. It is not possible. You know, it is not possible. It is not possible. You know, so let's see what happens. John also mentioned the only problem I have is if there is 10 countries, only 4 or 5 make it out of their group. I'll be honest with you guys, because of the way they've changed the World Cup rules, I have done a prediction where I can see very few African countries going out in the group stage. You know, out of 48 teams, there's going to be a round of 32. So we're going to play so many group stage games only to remove 16 teams from the World Cup. The chances of you being one of the worst 16 teams are very, very slim. Very, 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 very slim, I must say. It means 12 of all 12 bottom sides will go out. And only 4 of the third place sides will go out. Which means 8 third place teams, 8 will qualify for the knockout rounds. So you must be really, really, really useless to not make it out of your group. I think this is what even makes me so much more angry about Nigeria. Guys, there's a world where we could have been making like the World Cup quarterfinal. Can you imagine Osimhen, Lookman, Ako line up against like all this like Switzerland and co in a World Cup round of 16 or round of 32? I'm not saying we could not lose, but we know that's going to be a tough day for those people as well. So honestly, bro, it's our cross to bear. A lot of the African teams, in fact, out of the 9 that have qualified so far, when I did my calculations, 7 of them will qualify for the knockout rounds. I only had Tunisia and maybe Cape Verde going out. But the other ones, honestly, if they don't, they really need to ask themselves questions as to how they failed so importantly, because it's going to be so hard, I'm telling you. So let's see what happens. A few more. Obasi, thank you so much for the super chat. God bless you. May your cup never run dry. As you've blessed me, may God continue to bless you. And thank you so much for how you've supported the channel. You guys, it means the world, and I want to thank you guys so much for supporting. And thank you for liking the video today. I can see we have 67 people, but we already have almost 40 likes. So that tells me that everyone's engaging. We've got 34. It would be nice if the rest of you could also like the video. That would be much appreciated. You know, thank you for all the support. We do not take it for granted at all. I will go through a few comments. Dubai and DC. Hey, shout out to Dubai. I remember Dubai now. Shout out to you, man. DC, that's one of the few places I've been to in America, and I really loved it. He says Steve McLaren messed Jamaica out by playing for a draw. You're right. In Trinidad, forcing them to beat the stubborn Curacao. I see what you mean. No, they really, really messed up. He says, we would like to get your thoughts on Shell recruiting dual nationals, including Kayode in Brentford and Nwaneri on loan at Marseille. With Kayode, I feel we are good at right back, but Nwaneri will be a coup. Just to touch on that quickly, I've spoken about this extensively numerous times. Like I said, watch the video on our pool in 2013. Nigeria were very good as we are, but there are few select dual nationals that could really add some quality to our side. I also agree that in the right back spot, yes, we have Olaino. Yes, we have Brightside Samuel. Yes, we have Ryan Alebioshu. Yes, we even have Samuel Sife, who's now coming through at Slavia Prague. But when you look at Michael Kayode, the fact is he's one of the best right backs in the Prem at the moment. And you have to admit his skill set is really rare. I mean, look at how he was causing Arsenal to shiver from these throw-ins. And he's also pretty good athletically. I'll be honest, I can't really see a world where he wants to play for Nigeria. The guy can barely speak English, which is pretty weird. You know, like Mr. and Mrs. Kayode, why didn't you teach your son English well in Italy? You know, I know some Nigerians, they are so desperate to leave Nigeria that once they leave Nigeria, they can't wait to immerse themselves in the culture of where they live. I get that, but Someone like me, I love where I'm from, and yes, I'm happy to have a passport, but I really like to champion Nigeria. So I don't know how someone could end up not even being able to speak. When you hear him try and speak English, it's pretty alarming, honestly. I mean, he can speak English. He's not terrible, but the guy sounds like fucking Vincenzo Montella speaking, you know. So I think if Italy somehow don't call him up in March, then we can have a word. But I'm not in the business of fighting for players who don't want to fight for us. Yes, we can put a pitch in front of you. I think it's important Nigeria put a pitch in front of every player, just like the Moroccans do, just like the Senegalese do. You like Eze, for example. I think it's a damn shame he's playing for England and fighting over his World Cup space when he could have been our number 10 and our next GG. Put the proposal in front of the players. If they accept one time, we'd say yes. If they say no, God bless you. Wish you all the best in your career. That's my stance. I think Nwaneri would be a coup, and if I was Nigeria, I'll be talking to him now. But the problem is, go and watch videos of Gusau talking. Does he sound? Can you imagine Gusau talking to Nwaneri's parents? They'll be like, "Who the hell is this guy, man?" At least Pinnick can you dust and be lying in your ear, unless they have like maybe Garrick Shell there. Remember Toy Bidakpo, all those guys that at least are eloquent enough to bring some kind of certain level of pizzazz to come and lure these boys. But I think Nwaneri should be looked at for sure. Who else do I think should be looked at? Let's do Chuko. I think would be a good one. I think Nwaneri is especially important because of our lack of number 10s. We also could do with the few wingers. I think our talent pool of wingers is really dwindling, especially because Lookman is now playing as a second striker and he plays as a cam for Nigeria. So the fact Moses Simon and Moses Simon, Chukwueze, Ejuke, it was not the best set of wingers we could have. Yes, we have Suleiman at Leipzig that's coming through. Otele is playing for Hamburg, but he plays for Hamburg for a reason. No disrespect. Yes, he had another good game, but we're really missing like the next world-class winger. Like, you know them Rio Ngomoa for Liverpool, all these young boys, start talking to them now. That's what I would do, you know. But center backs, I think we're happy. We're Gucci. Let me just go through my dual nationality pool quickly, just to see if there's anybody I've forgotten that I really should not be forgetting. That should come to mind. Otto Conco, yes, Otto Conco, forgive me. Yeah, doing well for Wrexham. You guys know that the starting right back for AC Milan is also eligible for Nigeria. Zachary Atekame. I don't know. I think I butchered that pronunciation. Forgive me. It sounds Edo or from another tribe around that region. But he's 20 years old, unless he's been capped by Switzerland. But I'm pretty sure none of the European sides have had to play internationals since November. So there's no game for him to have been capped. Does he have one? Yeah, he's still eligible for Nigeria, but he's got 15 caps for the under 21 side, so he'll probably go and play for them. Apart from that, Leslie Gochuku, I would call him as well. Honest Ahano, that left back in Atalanta, 16 years old, that is waiting for Italy to give him passports when he turns 18. I don't understand that you can be loyal to a country that can't even give you a passport till you turn 18. What are they trying to tell you about your importance to the country? My brother, come and play for Nigeria, man. Get me lit. So I'm looking at him. There's also another guy, Tobias Okafor, left back, Swiss, at the moment playing for Winter. So he's one to look at as well. Chukwuemeka, I heard he's going to go and play for Austria. So good luck. If you can make such a decision for your life, then you're clearing us someone we should be bothering or worrying our heads with. Also, when I look at the wing options, like there are a lot of young, all these Justin Ijima, Samedozi, they're not good enough. So we don't even want them anywhere near our national team. There is a player called Ayodele Thomas for PSV. PSV, I think he's moving to RB Leipzig, or he's just moved to RB Leipzig, 18. He is one to watch. I want us to start catching them young. You know, in Gomoha, like I said, Tariq George, these ones that let them come and play for us by the time they're 2021. Show us how serious you are, and then we'll take it from there. But like I said, even with this dual national pool, it needs to be of a real certain level of quality. Like there's no young striker right now, say we want. Emmanuel Emega maybe, but he's already made his debut for Netherlands. And we're not lacking for strikers, you know. So Ayodele Thomas, maybe Ethan Neri, François Yeka is a cam I like a lot. François Yeka, he's still young. He plays in Germany. He's on loan at Bochum from Bayer Leverkusen. So those are the ones I'll add. Sorry for going on a bit too much about that, but Aduba, I hope that answered your question. Thanks for mentioning that you watched that video about the road to 2030, Jackson. I really appreciate that. John says, "Are there any good teams in East Africa?" I'll let Elias answer that. He says, actually, Elias already said, as someone from the weakest region in Africa, I'm not a fan of regional nations. Exactly, because it does not even help improve the East African teams, nor the Southern African teams. In fact, if they regionalize the National League, there's a world where the the Nations League, the gap between West Africa, North Africa, and the rest of Africa is going to get even bigger. Because can you imagine if Nigeria are fighting for our lives? We're playing Senegal, we're playing Ivory Coast, we're playing Ghana, we're playing Mali. Even our minnows are still decent. Our minnows are Gambia. They have Yakuba Minte playing in the Premier League. Our minnows are who again? Benin Republic that almost beat us to a World Cup tickets. Like when you really deep our minnows, Benin will beat every team in the Southern African region, not named South Africa. So tell me how they're doing us a favor by regionalizing, or how they're even doing the South Africans a favor. Because left to me, that's just hustling backwards, if I'm being brutally honest. So Motsepe, we'll see what happened. Yeah, look at Elias said the best team in East Africa is Uganda. Wow. That is shocking. Look at what our second string team did to Uganda at AFCON. What's wrong with my light? Come on, light. One more try. If it doesn't work, I think you can still all see me. Yeah, imagine Uganda is the best team in East Africa. Uganda are absolutely useless. Like, they are a terrible, 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 terrible football side. Yeah, and they're the best. Any more comments? Let me see what I've got. Would hate regional qualifying. I don't think Motsebe can ever get regional qualifying through. It's not possible. That will not make sense. Jackson, honestly, Kyle Dave wants to play for us. He should come and play for us, but we're not begging him. We're not that desperate. We have enough players that were ready to come and die on the line for the Super Eagles badge. So we'll see what happens. John said Leslie gets carded and gives penalties like mad. You're right. He needs to refine his gameplay, but we must admit that there's a decent player in there. To be honest, if I'm Ugochukwu, I'll come and beg NFF. Like, we can't come and beg you. You need us more than we need you. That's the honest truth. You know, with the likes of Oyedika, Anthony Dennis, David Moses, there's someone else I'm forgetting. Akiso Miro. I'm not saying Oguchuko is not good enough. He is, of course. But he should better be coming to talk to us quickly. Jackson said we lost Eze because of his sister, the agent, because Amaju said he had agreed to play for Nigeria. That's interesting. I didn't know the story about his sister. Maybe Jackson can come and give us an update on that when we finish the show. Timmy said, let's get these players in, but we need to start restructuring so our pipeline from home can work like used to be. Thank you so much for that statement, Timmy. I have a whole video I'm trying to do about the NFF and how they can restructure. You guys hear me always on the channel. I'm always talking about things the NFF can do, but no one's thinking out of the box, you know. But we cannot focus on dual nationals. We have to back on the momentum from what we've already seen from this AFCON and work for the next 18 months towards next AFCON. Look at Match Pinny come tell us stories that next year we're going to have stadiums as nice as Morocco's own. This is why I call him a story man. He thinks he's talking to idiots, and that's how it comes across all the time, just saying waffle on the screen. All the years you've been involved in Nigeria football, we could now have one good pitch. Now, all of a sudden, when the exchange rate is terrible, we should expect good pitches next year. As how now? You know, so I find him really, really disrespectful, I'll be honest. Adeola said Emmanuel Fernandez. I heard this Emmanuel Fernandez one, but guys, I'm telling you, it's fake news. The amount of fake news you see people peddle about Nigerian players. Emmanuel Fernandez playing for Rangers that at the moment are second in the league, third in the league. Is that the kind of player? Would you really pick Emmanuel Fernandez playing for a Rangers team that cannot finish ahead of Hearts right now over Igor Ugbo, Calvin Bassey, Benjamin Frederick, even Shemi Ajayi, Chibuike Nwaiwu, Emmanuel Uchenna, Jordan Torunariga? There's so many center backs. Like, so with all due respect, it's not the Rangers boy that's gonna get me excited at the moment. He needs to do more. Try and win the league first again. At least Aribo and Bassi, they're winning the leagues and making Europa League finals when they are Rangers. We have not seen Rangers go anywhere near the pedigree of the past for us to be looking at Fernandez. But I guess the more the merrier. But I'm sorry, like, I still believe the standard to get in Super Eagles, like Eric Shell said, is of a certain level, you know, and we must keep it that way. So let's see. But I like the look of him, and we'll see him do more. So let's see. Exactly like Jackson said, West Africa has the strongest team in Africa. I think that one is clear. In fact, go and look at the last 5 AFCON winners. They're all West African, apart from Algeria in 2019, where Mahrez scored. In fact, since Nigeria won our AFCON in 2013, because Zambia's one was 2012. If I'm not mistaken, every AFCON winner since 2013, apart from Algeria in 2019, has been West African. Ivory Coast did it in 2015. Cameroon did it in 2017. Then Algeria won it in 2019. Then 2021, Senegal won it. Then Ivory Coast. And then, of course, Senegal have gone and won it again. So West Africa, we're by far the best region in Africa, no doubt. Imagine if we even had facilities to boot. We'll dominate football. If everybody knows that one. Look how many players from West Africa. In fact, how would this? Oh my God, I should let you guys know about this. I was talking to my brother the other day. Okay, Kenny. And we were watching this video about like a hockey team in the 80s from USSR. I think it was the first time USA won the hockey. It's some new sports documentary on Netflix. But guys, it had us thinking that, can you imagine if West Africa was a whole team? What would our squad look like? And then we can even add Cameroon into our squad. Imagine what a West Africa like football team would look like. We were thinking to ourselves, man, will Iwobi make the bench? You know, who are going to be the wingers? I think that could be an interesting content to do. What does a West Africa super team look like? And maybe we'll do one for North Africa region. But I thought it was fantastic as well. So let me know. What did you let me say this thing? Oh, yeah, Jackson say West Africa is the strongest region. I totally agree. RP, shout out to RP, man, on the channel. Hello, I'm enjoying the show. Very informative. Thank you so much. Say, keep up the good work. I appreciate you so much. Taye Okunade, thank you so much, my fellow twin. I promise you, we cover Torunariga every week on this channel. So, Taye, that tells me that you're not watching the podcast to the end. Because if you did, you will know that I mentioned Torunariga's name every single week. So, Taye, please try and watch the whole video if you can. I understand it could be quite a lot, but we do our best in terms of just, you know, making sure we bring you this content. So shout out to you. And we will always talk about Torunariga. He's had a good season, you're right. He's back in the starting lineup. He lost his place for a few weeks recently, but he's been doing all right. And him and Philip Otele have been forming pretty well, especially since Philip Otele got in there. Before I quickly move on to the next stage, let me just go through a few of the comments. Olive Dikeocha. Shout out to you, Olive. Hey, I think it's Olive that wanted to jump on the show. So I hope you come online today, this time. Olive says, Olu, what if FIFA verdict goes in our favor? Should Nabali still man the post for us in the coming weeks? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I've already spoken about already, there's no... I do not expect it to go in our favor, just to set my expectations. But in the world where it comes our way, I do think that we should definitely keep Nobali. Like, who else? Oh, wait, you're right, too. He's not playing games. I see the angle. Oh, if he's not playing games right now, is he match fit? Sorry. My brain completely forgot about that. Okay, baby. Do we want to call him back? You know what? Barca Okoye has not said they don't play for Nigeria, so we'll see what happens there. I'm sure he wouldn't mind traveling to Mexico for a game. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. If not, we'll see our boys play in the friendly games that will be scheduled for March. So great question, Olive. That was a great question. Thanks for that. Adegbola says, good evening, brother. I think it would be beneficial if you could do something about the fake journalists in Nigeria who are spreading false news. I am tired. Shout out to you, Adegbola. Oluwaseun Fumi. Oh, shout out to you, Fumi. Even me, I'm an Oluwaseun. My Olu is actually Oluwaseun. I'm not Sheun, but Olu. I don't know what to do about them. Like, it just seems to be the Nigerian DNA sometimes to enjoy lying and spreading fake news for content. I don't know what we're going to do about them, but honestly, I don't know what we just have to keep calling them out when they drop fake news. I think that's the best we can do. I can't really think of another solution or something else we could do. But I think that's what we definitely need to stamp it up because it's too much. Aaron said about my West African team, strong football team, but terrible geopolitical. Yeah, mind you, I'm. This is all just hypothetical. I know there will be problems, and someone will say, "How is there only one Ghana player?" Because I was thinking only Semenyo should make the squad. Maybe Kudus can be on the bench. because we have enough super wingers from Ivory Coast. We got Amad Diallo, come here, Yan Diamande, come here. Senegal, we can tell him, man, Dia is on the bench. Nicholas Jackson can be Osimhen's backup. It's a great combo, but I'm not thinking about the geopolitics at all, bro. Just literally, just what the squad looks like. Imagine Baleba, Zambo Anguissa. Go and bring those Cameroon midfielders. Like, give us Lookman Osimhen, just pair him up. Give us Semenyo on the left wing. We'll cook people. Amad Diallo, Amad Diallo can hold the rights. I think it will be amazing. But yeah, the geopolitics will be terrible. That is for sure. TV said we might win the World Cup at that point. I'm telling you. He said, what's latest on Nwabali? No updates on Nwabali. I promise you, as soon as I hear a good, credible rumor, I will bring it to you. Shout out to you also. Olubenga Josiah says, I'm enjoying the program. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate that. Elias said, apparently Nigeria is playing Jordan and Amman. Any truth in that, bro? Bro, honestly, I'm just so confused by a lot of the reporting we're getting. Let's see what this verdict is, but I know we'll play some friendlies. I've heard we could play friendlies against Senegal. I've heard Jordan. I've heard Portugal in June. But once these are country and fake news, bro. Once they give us the honest take, we'll bring it to you for sure. And thank you, Adeola, for the comment about Nwabali not being match fit. Yeah, I forgot. And Aduba, I'll definitely do that. Maybe I'll even try and get some Senegalese people from the different regions to speak on that podcast episode. But yeah, I definitely have it on my radar, something that we could explore one day, because we really want to also bring content ideas, whether it's ranking tiers, greatest striker in Nigeria history, all that kind of stuff. I also love debating football, which is why I'm still yet to go to Women's Under 20 World Cup 75 minutes into the show. But yeah, I'll definitely add that in Aduba and keep you posted. Jackson says we can use Otto Okonkwo. He's eligible to play. I'm not sure if his eligibility has been confirmed. There is a FIFA portal where you can see players who have changed their nationality. I don't have the URL to hand right now, but I will go and double check because everything in Nigeria, honestly, I am not sure. Although I can see that FIFA approved his switch in, but this is just AI. It could be fake news. Me, I trust transfermarket.com. That is my source for a lot of things. Transfermarket.com told me that Otto Okonkwo still plays he's still primarily an English international. When he becomes a Nigeria international, we'll then bring him in. But I need to check that portal just to be sure about the findings on that particular situation. What is going on with my light today? I do not like this. But I hope that answers your question, though. Any other questions? Charles says, I am so anxious because of the actions of the irresponsible few. I'll be honest, guys. Tolex, shout out to you, Tolex, man. Shout out for always supporting. Free this thing, man. Free this thing. I'm telling you, free it. Free it, my bro. Free it. Don't give yourself a panic attack because of Nigeria. Like, if it works in our favor, then imagine the joy we will now feel. But I would honestly just say don't get too excited because Nigeria, one thing they will do is let us down sometimes. Although AFCON, we're very grateful that was not the case. What is wrong with this light? You know what? I give up. Everybody can still see my face. Let me know if it's still pretty and looks all right for the video. Shout out to me and my parents for the jeans. Any other comments before I keep going? Forget his request, guys. Da Vinci says, thanks for confirming, Aaron. His name is not there on that portal yet. So he still needs to become on that portal. This is literally what we're accusing Congo for. So we'll wait for the guys. Thanks, Obasi, for the shout out. Thank you. Shout out to my parents. Da Vinci, shout out Da Vinci. Da Vinci said, with that West African combined team, Wafu will still squeeze in there. Usman Mohammed. The biggest question will be, who is Coach Shell? Or who is the Coach Shell or Pap Tiao? Do not finish me, Da Vinci. Yeah, shout out to Kenny. I can see Kenny in the corner for the idea. They said we need to run it. So maybe we'll get a few people to do the idea. Said they'll still bring Usman Mohammed. To be honest, when we saw Usman Mohammed at Afcon, he seemed like a nice guy. I wouldn't even lie. He was friendly. He took a picture with Okpe. But that was funny, man. That was very funny. When that was Africa, I want you guys to see the comment. That was jokes, man. Thanks, guys. Timmy says, where can we find the portal? Aaron, do you mind posting a link to the portal for me, please? That would be amazing if you can. All right, guys, let me crack on with the show so I get through all the information for everyone's listening pleasure. And then I'll share the link with everybody who wants to give their opinion. And then we'll let the people speak. And then we'll all go home and have a lovely day. If you're one of the 70 people watching the live right now, first of all, I want to say a big thank you to everybody. Shout out to everybody for the support, all the love, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, for following any of our social media channels. We do not take it for granted. Everybody's welcome to this church. Please like the video if you're watching and enjoy the content and you've not yet liked the video. It does an amazing, amazing world of good for our channel, and it would mean the world to me. If you're watching this and you're not yet a subscriber and you're enjoying the content, it would mean the world to me if you would please subscribe to the channel. We give you these live streams every Monday and every Thursday, and any information that's relevant regarding the Nigerian football atmosphere, we will bring it to you. I am also an Arsenal fan, as you could tell by my gear and all my Thierry Henry content. I'm trying to see if there's appetite to bring more Arsenal content. Maybe I shall do it. We have an Arsenal Football Weekly channel ready, and of course we have the Africa Football Weekly channel ready for the World Cup, where we could watch our brothers. So please look out for those as well. I'm always open to content ideas. I'm your host Oloke. I love football and I love Nigeria with all my heart, even though I know, yes, I don't live there for circumstantial reasons, but anything Super Eagles, you guys know me, I will literally carry it on my head. Nigeria, football and music, that's what I take. But we make sure we give you well-rounded content, not just on Nigerian players, but also speaking about the Premier League, which is the Premier League that most Nigerians watch. And also being based in London, here in South London, the Premier League is obviously the creme de la creme of everything in our atmosphere. So, I just want to say a big welcome to everybody. Like the video. Like I said, if you're interested, we're on the road to 20K subscribers. So shout out to everybody. You just helped us cross 11,300 subscribers. Much, much appreciated. Also, if you love to join as a member, please feel free to sign up. We'll do our first members only live stream on Wednesday night after the Arsenal versus Wolves match. So shout out to everybody. Anyway, back to the regular schmegular program. Now, just because we have to make sure we give updates on all our teams and we love all our teams, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on our under-20 women's team. The under-20 women's team are one step closer to making the under-20 Women's World Cup taking place later this year. They have secured their place in the final CAF qualifying round for the under-20 Women's World Cup after defeating Senegal by 2-1 away, literally over the weekend, which combined with the initial 1-0 win in Abeokuta, I think it was Kene, means that we've defeated Senegal by 3-1 on aggregate. Goals from Chinaza, Kindness, Ifeanyi, and Precious Oscar ensured the Falconets remain on track for their 12th tournament appearance. They will face Malawi in the final round in May, so we still have a bit of time until that final game. But I know Malawi are one of the upcoming women's sides. We've had Chama Okafor who could have played for Malawi, but you have to say that on the balance of things, you would expect the Falconets to get the job done. The other final round games to look out for will include Ghana versus Uganda, Cameroon versus Tanzania, and Ivory Coast versus Benin. Yet again, it looks like we'll have, although this looks like it's from this is not regionalized anymore, because if we're playing Malawi, we're going to Southern Africa. So yet again, you can see that even in women's football, West Africa are doing their thing. Although we know South Africa and Morocco are two of the teams that pack a punch, alongside obviously the giants of women's football, the Super Falcons. So we'll see how these games get on. And of course, we'll bring you that information as and when needed. So moving on to the weekend player reviews. I'm going to try and speed through this section. So we're not on here for too long. I want to give a bit of time for members of the community to come and give their thoughts or just talk about football. We've got big Champions League games coming through tomorrow. I'm sure we'll love to talk about that, especially ahead of Victor Osimhen playing against Luciano Spalletti. So that will be very, very exciting and should be fun to watch. So let's see how that goes. So anyway, with the weekend player reviews, guys, Starting with the Premier League, we know there was no Premier League games this weekend because of the FA Cup, but we saw the Fulham boys progress to the FA Cup fifth round after a 2-1 victory over Stoke City. As Jackson rightfully pointed out, Alex Iwobi had yet another good game. We saw Calvin Bassey on the bench, and Chukwueze was also an unused sub on the bench, but Alex Iwobi played 90 minutes, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was his 100th appearance for Fulham. It was a milestone appearance for Alex Iwobi in a Fulham jersey. And my word, what a player. Just continues to soar and shine for us. The good news is Premier League will be back this weekend. Of course, initially Arsenal have to play against Wolverhampton on Wednesday. So looking forward to seeing how we perform in that match. But we will see Alex Iwobi back in action on Sunday as Fulham go away to play Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. So that'll be a tough game, but an exciting one to watch. Also, the Nottingham Forest boys, in action this week because they're already out of the FA Cup. But they will be back in Europa League action this Thursday as they play Fenerbahce. To be honest with you, this is exactly what explains the difference between the best league in the world and the 9th best league in the world. Fenerbahce are second in Turkey, and they're about to play Nottingham Forest, who we all know are currently, 17th in the Premier League? I think this is a very, very good explanation for why the strength of your league matters. And the worst part is I cannot look you in the eye and tell you that I think Fenerbahce will beat Nottingham Forest to my chest. I just can't say that. It's impossible. Yes, we know Vitor Pereira is going over there to take over Nottingham Forest. But I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if Nottingham Forest beat Fenerbahce in the Europa League knockout round before the round of 16. That's how you know the levels between these teams. But the good news is we'll see Ola Aina probably play his first European game of the season, which will be exciting to see. In fact, is there a world where this will be Ola Aina's first European game in his career since his Chelsea days? Because we know he did not play in Europe for Fulham or Torino, unless I'm mistaken. So there's actually a world where Ola Aina may be making his European debut. I'm sure he would have played 1 or 2 games for Chelsea, maybe in Europa League. I'm not 100% sure. But I think that could be quite a good milestone to look out for. So let's see how they get on Thursday. And then on Sunday, they will be hosting Liverpool at the City Ground, 3 p.m. Nigerian kickoff time as well. So look out for that. Tola Godare played 90 minutes for Wolverhampton as they just about managed to beat Grimsby Town 1-0 to progress to the 5th round of the FA Cup. I mean, what can we say about Wolverhampton, man? What can we say about Wolverhampton? I don't even know what to say. Like, they're just mid. 2-pack of mid. Like, I keep beating Grimsby Town 1-0, man. But anyway, at least they made the 5th round. So hopefully, at least we can give them some respite from their horrible Premier League campaign. Next up for them, of course, they're hosting the mighty Arsenal on Wednesday. Now, you guys know what happened when Arsenal played Brentford on Thursday night. Yeah, just after we did the live stream. Who's that guy that equalized for Brentford? It was not a goal, Thiago. After Madueke scored. How's the Brentford equalizer again? What's it from one of them Coyote Torrens? Anyway, all I know is we drop points to Brentford. And I cannot afford to watch another game where Arsenal drop points, especially because we've got the North London derby on the weekend. We have to beat Wolverhampton. The first season Arsenal challenged for the league and we finished second. I watched Arsenal draw against Southampton twice. Southampton were the worst team in the division that year. They were so shit that they were on course to break the Premier League record for worst points total. And Arsenal drew away and are home to that team. We even watched Theo Walcott score against us at the Emirates with that useless Southampton side. So forgive me for my fears after watching Arsenal drop 2 points and knowing it's 4 points, where I'm just like, look, Arago Dari, I hope you do well, but I need Arsenal to put Wolverhampton to the sword. I need it to be a 5-0. Like that year where City beat us by 2 points, where we're beating West Ham 6-0. We're just going away and smashing teams, beating the brakes out of them. Kai Havertz in that special like green and black jersey, Declan Rice's first season. I need that to happen. That's what we need. So we need to see what's going to happen with that and take it from there. So let's see. Arago Dari, I hope you have a decent game. You already scored against us in the other leg at the Emirates. But Arsenal, we need to fry these guys. And then we'll see Arago Dari play Crystal Palace away on Sunday. As for Constance Uche, he was not in FA Cup action. I believe Crystal Palace already out. But next up for them, he will be in action in Europe on Thursday as Crystal Palace resume their Conference League campaign against Shrinsky Mostar away. I don't even know what country that is. Shrinsky. It's giving like Lithuania or something. Shrinsky. It's giving like Lithuania, Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Wow. Now you're talking. So, Chris Aducha and Co., please do what you need to do against those guys in the Conference League. And we know that was the last time Crystal Palace won a game, was in the Conference League in December. So hopefully they can get back to winning ways. And of course, they're playing Wolves at Sellers Park on Sunday. Just down the road here, 20-minute drive. So hopefully they could get the job done. Just to go through a few more comments before I round up the player reviews. Obasi said on the 20 women's team are technically poor. Their midfield play is not impressive at all. I'm not surprised. That does not surprise me at all, my brother. Elias said, didn't he play against Braga? You might be right. I think during the AFCON, Ola, I know, actually made his return in a European game. You might be right about that, my brother. You're right. He's actually played twice already in the Europa League this season. So forgive me for that statement. And very, very spot on with your comment, brother. Both of those games, he played against Braga, yes, literally just before AFCON started. I don't even know how I forgot that. And then they beat Fenerbahce at the end of January, literally 2-3 weeks ago, 4-0. I'm sure I haven't mentioned that game on the channel because Fenerbahce have the Nigerian guy, Bamidele Yusuf for Fenerbahce in Hungary. So let's see how that one gets on. Other comments. John says, Olu, are you worried that Arsenal might let the Prem go to City? Bro, if I say I'm not worried, I'm lying. But at the same time, I also think there's no point worrying about things you can't control. Like, if we've done the work that we've learned from the past seasons, a 4-point lead is still a 4-point lead. But we have a few crucial games coming up, and we also have to hope City drop points when they go to Stamford Bridge. We know we still have to go to the Etihad, so as long as Arsenal do the job we have to do, that would make me feel confident. Our next 3 games, we have Wolves away, Tottenham away, then Chelsea at the Emirates. If we win those 3, I wouldn't be worried, but I'd be lying if I said there's not a world where they could pip us to the title. But look, we're still alive in all 4 competitions. We've got a Carabao Cup final to play. We're in the FA Cup 5th round where they've literally drawn us against Mansfield. Mansfield just beat Burnley. But with all due respect to Mansfield, we can probably use our under 21s and flog them. So you might as well, I don't want to get arrogant, but you can basically say Arsenal are in the quarterfinals already. We should be one of the final 8 sides. And once we get to Wembley in the semi-final, we know Arsenal never lose games at Wembley. So FA Cup, I'm feeling good. But we know it's the Prem and the Champions League I want. So Premier League, game by game, that's the way I see it. And then Champions League, we'll see how it goes when we reach that stage, when we know who our opponents will be. I think it will either be Olympiacos or Atalanta or Dortmund or Leverkusen, one of those 4 teams. So we'll see what going on. And then Da Vinci says, it's not really a comment, but Olu, with your Niger ball knowledge, I would love to see you build a Niger 11 of strictly foreign-born players and Niger 11 of strictly Niger-born players. Let me copy that content idea. That's a good idea. You see why I like your takes? Let me bear with me, guys, for 5 seconds while I screenshot the idea. That is a good idea. Keep them coming. That is definitely a good content idea. I will see how they perform. So shout out to you for that one, Da Vinci. Let me make sure I save that. I should be done in 5 seconds. NFW. There we go. Thanks for that comment, Da Vinci. Abasi says Nigeria grassroots content. Man, I'd love to do it. In fact, one of these days, I'm going to go back to Nigeria for like 2-3 weeks and just... The problem is I cannot lie, I'm an Ajebota, so I don't know where outside Lagos I should go to and how we should get there. You know, I've gone to Port Harcourt by plane, you know, we've visited a few places, but if you let me know the best way to get to these places, I'd love to go to like Beyond Limits, speak to the people there, DFC, you know, just get content and speak to people in the ecosystem of Nigerian football. Go to Abuja, maybe we'll see if we can see these glass house people, you know. I'd have a little conversation with them or two. Like, please, why are you doing this to us? You know, so that's a great comment. Ayodele Fakayode, thank you so much. Oh my God, $20 of your hard-earned money. God will bless you. May your cup never run dry. May everything you desire over the next year and beyond come to pass in Jesus' name. The same way you have blessed me of your free volition, may God continue to bless you times 10 in Jesus' name. Wow, that means a lot. Thank you so much, Ayodele. God bless you and remain blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is really, 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 really kind of you. And thank you. I am so glad someone just mentioned Franco Yeka, because we're about to get into the championship games. In fact, let me put the game on TV. Bear with me. I am pretty sure it is on ITV4. So let us see what is going on. TV guide. So I know Franco Eka got a yellow card. I got that update. But it seems like he has also... Has he scored? Tai, please let me know. I just want to check the score real quick. ITV4, there we go. Oh, wow. They're beating Middlesbrough by 3-1. Loving it. I know Frank the Tank got a yellow, but he definitely looks like he's been playing well. Coventry. This is a statement victory by Coventry, by the way, because they had fallen down to second place after initially setting the pace. But this is a big, big result, and they've absolutely dominated. Actually, no, they haven't. It's equal shots, but Middlesbrough have had 70% of possession, while Coventry have done all the goal scoring. So it suggests to me that Coventry have hit them on the counter attack very well. Oh, wow. American striker Haji Wright with a hat trick. Fantastic. So, yeah, good to see. You see what happens when you put Onyeka in the starting lineup, Mr. Lampard? I can't believe you put him on the bench last week. That was crazy. So, shout out. We'll also say Frank Onyeka is someone to call out as a standout performer. Taye has confirmed that he has been subbed with a standing ovation in his home debut for Coventry City. So that's exactly what I was going to say. To be honest, championship, I was going to say Onyeka is in action against Middlesbrough. So really, really great to see that, and long may it continue. After this game, they will be playing West Brom away on Saturday, 1:30 p.m. But of course, even though I'm still mentioning the next games, remember, on Thursday, we usually preview the games that are taking place on the weekend, especially for the Premier League. And then we choose 5 games outside of the Premier League involving Nigerian players. So look out for that piece of content. Shout out to everybody that's stuck with us so far. Let me just run through this and then we'll get to the ones to watch. I've also shared the link for anybody who wants to come on to give their thoughts. Please make sure you're wearing a shirt and just check your audio. Make sure you sound at least pretty clear. That's my only requirement, and will be good to get some of you on there. Brightside Salmon, on the other hand, for Birmingham, played 83 minutes as they drew 1-1 against Leeds in the FA Cup. Unfortunately, they lost 4-2 on penalties, but I must say Osai Salmon was incredible. In fact, he was one of the nominees for man of the match. So long may continue, Osai. Osai, we know you are capable of playing for a top 5 club. I mean, top 5 league club, please. So sort it out in the summer, please. We cannot see you playing the championship yet again. I know you want to be at home and close to your family, but we love you. We can see your ambition. Even when I met you in Morocco, you were very kind. We've listened to your interview with Omar. Sort it out in the summer, please. We cannot do mid-table championship again. You left that for better things when you went to Fenerbahce. So we'll see what going on. As for Joribo, he was not in the squad as Leicester lost Southampton, of course, because he's on loan from Southampton. So Leicester, you have to say when it rains, it pours for them right now. They play Stoke City away on Saturday as they look to stave off relegation. They're currently 22nd out of 24 teams after a 6-point deduction. Can you imagine if Leicester go down to League One? That would be insane, guys. Can you imagine? Leicester City. 10 years ago, Leicester City that was winning the Premier League. Nah, that would be too sad. I'm not going to lie. So I'm hoping that will not be the case. So let's see what happens in terms of Leicester's performances. And Alebioshu, on the other hand, played 90 minutes as Blackburn beat QPR on Saturday 3-1. Good to see Alebioshu back to starting and playing well. Continue the good performances. Blackburn are also in danger of relegation, but they're now 19th. So long may the good performances continue. In Serie A, we already spoke about Gift Urban's unfortunate debacle for Verona on Sunday. Very, very sad. It looks like he'll be missing the game, but I'm hoping that they will appeal the verdict and that'll be overturned so Gift Orban can play on Friday night as the great away to play Sassuolo, which is a big, big match for Verona. As for Marco Okoye, played 90 minutes, but Udinese lost 2-1 to Sassuolo, ironically, on Sunday. They were winning this game and they just capitulated, to be honest. Like, really, really shocking stuff. Udinese are such a proper mid-table team. Beats Goliath, how do I say? Beats big boys, they'll beat Roma. Then you now check their results, they'll lose to some team that you're just like, what the hell? Like, how did this even happen? What even led to such a situation? But anyway, that's like what we're seeing them. We'll see how it goes. We already spoke about Fisayo Dele-Bashiru playing 90 minutes for Lazio in their 2-0 loss to Atalanta on Saturday. The good news is he started the game, and hopefully he'll start when they play Cagliari away on Saturday, 8:45 p.m. Nigeria time. As for Pisa, joint last on the table with Verona. Rafael Durosimi came off the bench in stoppage time, while Ebenezer Akinson-Miro was on the bench, but came off the bench to play the final 33 minutes for Pisa as they lost by 2-1 against AC Milan on Friday. Guys, you should watch the highlights of this game. Luka Modric rolled back the clock. If you see the last minute goal Luka Modric scored, it was fantastic. So long may that continue. But I'm really, really sad that Kisomiro is no longer starting. But he played 33 minutes, which is a good sign. So let's see how it goes. Also, you have to say the Pisa manager must not be the brightest man in the world. You're drawing a game and you need to win. And then you bring on your striker in stoppage time. You can probably see a world where he was trying to take a draw, and then Modric then scored, and he goes, all right, Durosimi, go up the pitch and let's see what happens. So that seems to be the situation there. By the way, for the La Liga watchers, before we get into La Liga, Barcelona are currently losing 2-1 to Girona. I just got the update on my iPad. So interesting times, but we'll look out for that confirmation. Maybe Mbappe, maybe the dictator Mbappe might just end up with his first La Liga title. He keeps scoring all these goals with nothing to show for it. And you have the whole Madridistas telling us how amazing Mbappe is. But like, bro, you ain't won shit. So Barcelona, do not lose to Girona. This is quite funny because, wait, is Ter Stegen playing? Oh my God, don't let me overdo. Oh my God, is Ter Stegen playing this game? Please tell me Ter Stegen is playing the match. Oh no, he's injured. It's Gazaniga. Oh, can you imagine if it was Ter Stegen? That would have been hilarious. Oh my God, Thomas Lemar scored. That's what you call a throwback. Every day, I thank God Arsenal did not waste 90 million British sterling pounds on that guy. I know we're about to drop the bag when we're panicking that Alexis Sanchez will leave us. So yeah. Anyway, Durosimi and Co, they'll be playing Fiorentina away on Monday. Now, that is a big, big game. Fiorentina 18th, Pisa 19th. Fiorentina over the weekend went to Como, who are 6th and managed by Cesc Fabregas, and beat Como 2-1 away. I don't even know how. So now Fiorentina are playing at home, and Pisa are coming to their turf. I can't see a world where Pisa win, I have to be honest. But we need Durosimi to get fit and firing again. After he scored on his debut, it's been a bit lackluster. He got a goal and he got an assist in the second game, but it hasn't really worked out for him since that day. So we need some good news for Durosimi. And hopefully we'll see Akisomiro back in the start lineup sooner rather than later. And we'll see how that goes. Ademola quickly said, my thought is set on Michael to represent Nigeria. For me, we don't beg anybody. Exactly. So we don't beg anybody. If he joins, we'll join. If not, we keep it moving. Moving on to La Liga, we already spoke about Ademola Lookman and his interesting team who will manage to beat Barcelona by 4-0, but then go and lose to Rayo Vallecano by 3-0 away on Sunday. Now, just to clarify, Diego Simeone did not start Julian Alvarez or Lookman. It was already 2-0 when he brought on Lookman in the 63rd minute. It was 1-0 when he brought on Alvarez in the 53rd minute. And ultimately, Lookman and Cook could not really do too much to turn around the results, with Rayo Vallecano adding another goal in the final 10 minutes. Now, one thing and one caveat to add is Atletico Madrid probably know the La Liga title race is done, even though Barcelona are about to drop 3 points. They're a bit too far behind Real Madrid and Barcelona. They're level on points with Villarreal, who have now overtaken them to be third, and they're only 4 points ahead of Betis when we looked earlier. Now we know they've got a crucial game against Club Brugge in the Champions League on Wednesday. So I would like to think the only reason he rested his two-star players is because he wanted to focus on the Champions League. They're pretty much already in the Copa del Rey final. So that's the only thing that makes sense to me from that perspective. So let's see if they end up winning the game tomorrow, because honestly, if they do not get the job done on Wednesday, it will be very, very annoying. But I must say, I am eagerly anticipating this Champions League match. It is not every day that you have two confirmed starting players for Nigeria or two players who start for their clubs, and you know they're going to start head-to-head in a knockout Champions League tie. Ademola Lookman's Atletico Madrid versus Rafael Onyedika's Club Brugge. I think that's an exceptional tie to look forward to, and I cannot wait. Honestly, I will be seated on my TV. I know Arsenal are playing, so I'll try and find the balance, because obviously we have to watch Arsenal. But I think that's a very, very sexy and tasty tie to look out for. And then hopefully we'll see Lookman finally break his La Liga duck when they play Espanyol at home on Saturday at 9 p.m. Sevilla and Co, yet again, disappointment. The good news is that Adam started the game, but Eduque played the final 20 minutes as we've come to expect. They drew 1-1 against Deportivo Alaves, so Sevilla remain 13th. They are level on points with Valencia. They are one of the teams that have been struggling this season as well. But they are the best of the 26 pointers. Let's put it that way. In fact, because of Girona's 2-1 win at the moment, Girona have now climbed above Sevilla. So that's interesting to see. But Sevilla, I could not tell you guys when next they're going to win a game. I could not tell you. Like, they are so inconsistent. It is really, really alarming. In fact, if I'm Marco Adams' agents, I'm finding a way in the summer, I'm telling you. Because Sevilla will do your shine. I'm telling you, man. This is not the Sevilla of 5 years ago. Talk less of 15 years ago. You know. But next up for them, they play Getafe away. I wish Kusantuche was still in Getafe. He would have beaten the nonsense of Sevilla. And of course, we spoke about Umar Sadiq, who scored his second goal for Valencia since return in January in their 2-0 win over Levante in La Liga last night. Very, very good goal. I urge you to go watch the highlights if you've not seen the goal. And that was how the game ended. Just to remain on La Liga, Aaron said, I heard Barcelona was gunning for Lookman, but didn't have the funds. Personally, I'm grateful he didn't go there. I'll be honest, Aaron, anytime I see Barcelona gunning for a player, I just kiss my teeth. Economic Levers FC. They think we've forgotten about all the levers they're pulling. And even the way they've been delaying their return to the new camp initially. We will be there. Even this one I'm hearing about Barcelona trying to sign players in summer. I already know for a fact there's no way they're signing Julian Alvarez because they don't have £100 million to spare. Arsenal will blow them out the water, any package. So it's good to see. But honestly, Barcelona, and if it's not a loan signing or a free transfer, I'm not hearing it. Because where are they going to find the money? Those broke boys. Yeah, man. Word to Drake and 21 Savage. Broke boys. I can stand on broke boys. That's Barcelona. And I know what they did to us now when I was growing up. Even the way they were talking, all these Rafinha, all these guys, just trying to, well, guess what? We are the captain now. We are the captain now. All that La Liga juice. You keep messing up your league. Don't worry. Yes, there's some players that still want to go to Real Madrid and Barcelona no matter what. But the Prem, we're the kings now. How can you have 8 teams qualified directly to round of Champions League? And 5 of them are Premier League teams. Literally, Premier League, Sporting Lisbon, Bayern, and Barcelona. That's it. So watch out. We'll see what happens in the summer. But I'm glad Lookman did not go there either as well. Because Barcelona, I've never seen such fair weather fans as well. They will praise you to the hills, but the moment they want you out of there, they will start smearing your name. Look how they did Ter Stegen, Inigo Martinez. Look at what them. There's so many players. Suarez. There's a time they even wanted Rafinha gone. Frankie de Jong. Have you seen the way they keep trying to smear Frankie de Jong's name? Because he signed the contract that Barcelona gave him himself. He would defer his contract, say Frankie de Jong. He does not care about Barcelona. That devilish organization. Honestly, man. I always be happy to see them struggle. So let's see what going on. I mean, good luck to them if they can get Bassi, but I can't see Bassi playing a high line. I think that would be a terrible decision. With the way they played at the high line, Calvin Bassi playing that Barcelona. Bassi is always in crime scenes as well. See what Haaland did to him last week Wednesday. So I'm telling you, we don't want to see that at all. Anyway, just to round up, Bundesliga, Felix Agu is back from his injury. He played 65 minutes for Werder Bremen in a 3-0 loss to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich put them to the sword. Harry Kane was Harry Kane. Just leave it at that. St. Pauli away next on Sunday, but good to see Felix Agu back from his injury. Shame it made him miss AFCON. But to be honest, was he going to start over Yemechi? Bruno Yemechi Marcelo? I'm not so sure, mate. You know? As for Hamburg, good news is we've seen Felipe Tele continue his exceptional debut for the big club. He played 72 minutes and played well. He didn't get a goal and an assist, but he was very, very lively. And they beat Union Berlin by 3-2. Jordan Torunariga also played in this game. My fellow Thai, I hope you heard that. So Torunariga played 90 minutes in his 3-2 win. I think Torunariga is one player that has to be brought to the fold for the next Super Eagles games. Like, yes, we must punish him for his lack of commitment until he was 26. This is a player that is 28 years old and he has one cap. He clearly was waiting for a German cap. Someone in Germany needs to come on the channel one day and explain to me what's happening in Germany. Is that there's no Nigerian restaurants, there's no Nigerian community. Why is it that all these German Nigerians, they don't understand what Nigeria is, like the ones in London we have here? So, but anyway, good news to see that win. Next up, they play Mainz away on Friday, 8:30. As Kevin Akpoguma, he was suspended as Hoffenheim beat Freiburg 3-0 on Saturday. He was suspended because he got a red card against Bayern Munich the week before. So he served his suspension and he'll be back for when they play Cologne away on Saturday. In League One, Moses Simon continues to play for a very useless side, man. Oh my God. They make me so angry. Bro, Paris FC, he played 27 minutes. And they got absolutely battered 5-0 by Lens. At home. At home. Lens are back to be top of the league because PSG lost to Rennes 2-1 over the weekend. But my God, Moses Simon, what are you doing in this Paris FC of a club, man? I can't even remember the last time he scored a goal. Talk less of an assist. But he chose his bet, so he should better lay in it very well. So out of 18 teams, Paris FC are 15th. Definitely the threat for relegation remains there. And we'll see what happens with him because honestly, I don't know. One-eyed man is the king in the land of the blind. Does not apply to any player like Moses Simon. You play for Levante, play for Nantes, play for Paris FC. You even have time to at least try and sign for someone in Europa League. You refuse. Yes, you know you're a French citizen, but Paris FC was the best you could do. Look at Tochukwu Nadi has moved to Marseille, even though they're oral farming. We'll get to them. But honestly, Moses Simon's. In fact, I even hope. Anyway, let me not sound like I'm trying to beat a man while he's down. I even think we should tell him, thank you for your work in Super Eagles. God bless you. Be going. Because if they tell us Simon is 31, what's the village? You know. So anyway, we'll see if he can have better luck when they play Toulouse away on Saturday. As for Tochukwu Nadi, this is what I don't like about Marseille. Stop posting Tochukwu Nadi's picture as if he's in the match day squad. They even put number 6 up. Only for them to not even put him in the match day squad. Marseille, what kind of oral farming is that now? Serves them right for drawing. That's why they drew the game 2-2 against Strasbourg. Next time, don't do that kind of rubbish. We know the Zerbi has left you and you're going through turmoil. Marseille are now 4th, and it's even looking precarious in terms of them making the Champions League because Lyon have won 12 straight games under Paulo Fonseca. Endrick is looking like the Endrick from Brazil again. And Lyon are now back to being 3rd in Ligue 1. When I was growing up, Lyon were the giants of France. Lyon literally won 7 Ligue 1 titles in a row. Do you remember when they saw Benzema, Malouda, Diarra, Essien, that Juninho Pernambucano? That time you play Lyon, they will beat the shit out of you. They would make the Champions League quarterfinals normally. The original Benz, when Benzema was young. Oh, Ben Alpha. Nah, man, they were too cold. Sonny Anderson. Ay. So all the people that say PSG now, you don't know the days when Lyon were the guys. Jean-Michel Aulas. Nah, that guy was a legend, man. But anyway, where was I going with that? The whole point was Marseille need to fix up because Lyon have fixed up. And if Marseille need to make the Champions League again, because we know that Mehdi Benatia is a terrible sporting director. Him and Longoria, every summer, they sell 10 players, sign another 10. The way they do squad churn, it makes no sense in Marseille. So good luck to them with the amount of money they've committed. Whether it's Amingiri, Greenwood, Aubameyang, they signed so many players. So they need to figure out what they're trying to do over there. I'm telling you, such a scattergun plan always. But anyway, let's see if Tochukwu will finally make his debut on Friday when they go away to play Brest. Sorry, forgive me for that joke. It was too easy not to do. Anyway, Chidozie Awaziem finally got back into the start lineup for Nantes, which was good to see. However, he got a yellow card and was rewarded with a 3-1 loss to Monaco, who've been misfiring. But all of a sudden, Monaco have remembered how to win games just before they play PSG in the Champions League knockout rounds this week. So look out for that game, and good to see Awaziem back playing games, even though they lost. Next up for them, they play Le Havre at home on Sunday, so hopefully he will retain his starting spot. In the Portuguese league, Terry Murphy finally made his debut for Porto. He played 16 minutes in their 1-0 win over Nacional on Sunday. No goals or assists, but we want more from Murphy. We do not want him playing 16 minutes. So let's see how it goes when he plays the same team, Nacional, away on Sunday. Did they play them at home and then they're now playing them away? Let me just triple check that for you guys. You know, we're only human. We make mistakes sometimes. Sorry, that's a typo. They play Rio Ave at home on Sunday. So look out for that game and we'll see how the Porto boys get on. Zedu Sanusi, on the other hand, played 90 minutes, which is really, really encouraging to see. So let's see how the rest of that game goes. As we spoke about Umar Abubakar in the Famalicão update when we're talking about standout players, the even more positive news is Famalicão somehow find themselves 6th in the Portuguese league at the moment. But he did not play. It was not in the squad as they lost 1-0 to Sporting Lisbon on Sunday. Next up for him, they play Casapia at home this time next week, Monday. And then Isaac James is not in the squad for Alverca. Where are you, Isaac James? We'll call you again when you're back in the squad. In Belgium, we saw Onyedika prepare for his big Champions League tie against Atletico Madrid by playing 90 minutes in a 2-1 victory for Club Brugge over their crosstown rivals, Cercle Brugge. So next up for him, he can focus fully squarely on hosting Ademola Lookman in town and showing him that Club Brugge, we may not quite be the biggest of boys, but remember what we did to you guys last season. So I'm sure Lookman will be telling his teammates and giving them some expo on what not to do going forward, and we'll see how that game goes. So really looking forward to that Champions League team, and then they'll play Leuven at home on Saturday. Yurasor was also in action for Genk. They beat Kiwi Mechelen 3-2 on Friday. He will also be in action in Europa League on Thursday as Genk play Dynamo Zagreb away, and then they play Standard Liège at home on Sunday. As for the Turkish league, we already spoke about Victor Osimhen's exploits in getting 2 assists in their 5-1 win over Eyüpspor on Friday. I'm sure the Turkish league probably made them play that game on Friday because they have a very, very important Champions League match tomorrow where they will be hosting Juventus at the Rams Park Stadium in Istanbul tomorrow, 6:45 p.m. Nigeria time. So that will kick off at 5:45 p.m. in the UK. Really, really excited for this game. To be honest, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say everything Victor Osimhen does in his Galatasaray career was get up to this moment. When you sign for a club like Galatasaray, they're not wooing you based on the fact that you will win the Turkish league and you will get a Turkish double. They don't care. With all due respect, that's a given. What Galatasaray could have sold someone like Osimhen on is, imagine the Champions League nights at Rams Park. We all know, look, we know Osimhen likes his money. He collected his cake and yeah, they will pay him his money. But the point is, last season, even while they run to a Turkish double, I very clearly remember Galatasaray getting absolutely battered by a Dutch side in the knockout rounds. Like, they were so useless in the Europa League. Osimhen missed the first leg and they lost it like 5-1 or something stupid. So everything that matters in terms of us being able to say his move to Galatasaray as a success is dependent on how they perform in the Champions League. Yes, you already have 6 goals in the Champions League. You're one of the top 4 scorers. We accept it. But, bro, it is now games like tomorrow where your legacy, or even wanting us to understand this your love of the 9th best league in the world, you must perform against Juventus. You even have the added context of it being Luciano Spalletti, your coach who was your coach at Naples, when you won the Scudetto and did the double. When I carried myself to Napoli to go and buy all the merch in the world I can find about Osimhen. If I share all the Osimhen things I have in my house, now I went to Naples. So it is all crunch time for tomorrow. What can you do against Juventus? No matter how down Juventus are, they're still the old lady and will expect them to dominate you. But you are Galatasaray. You have Osimhen. You have Leroy Sané. You've just signed Noah Lang from Napoli, you know, and you should have a squad that should be good enough to dispatch or at least beat this Juventus squad in their current, this one that they are struggling between Jonathan David, Luis Openda, Dusan Vlahovic, who they're about to let go in the summer. Like Juventus, you have to admit their team is not the best right now. I mean, look at what did Inter not beat them this weekend 3-2? What he does, it's not the events of the past. It definitely feels like an old lady. Let's put it that way. So, yes, there is a world, like Aaron just said, I can see Galatasaray beating Juventus and drawing away. I think it's possible, and that's what we're trying to say for this game. So, tomorrow, VO9, you must rise it. You and all your teammates, it is time to shine. Davison Sanchez in the back, do your work. Lucas Torreira in the middle, do your work. Everybody do your work. Because if this goes wrong and Juventus dump you out before the round of 16, VO9, I'm sorry, we're going to keep questioning your decision making. Because it's clear that, nobody can tell you what to do. You're a grown man. But we must admit that some of your decision making career-wise, let's just say, is interesting. Yeah? All right. So, let's see how that game goes. And then they play Konyaspor away on Saturday. We already spoke about the Trabzonspor boys as well, and especially Chibuike Nwaiwu for getting an assist in the game. Paul Onuachu for scoring an incredible goal despite the loss. And then Anthony Nakeme came on for the final 15 minutes, but was unable to help turn around the result. Next up for them, though, they play Gaziantep away on Sunday, 2 p.m. As for Gotsepe, Anthony Dennis's team remained fourth in the league. He played 75 minutes. They drew 0-0 against Kayserispor. Next up for them, though, they play Besiktas, who are fifth, and you have to admit they are by far the biggest underperformers out of the big Istanbul giants in that country. Well, the good thing is we sent commiserations with Fred Ndidi. He was in Nigeria burying his father, which was really sad to see, but good to see the commission go and support him. So he was not in the squad as Besiktas beat Istanbul Başakşehir by 3-2. He will likely be back for the game on Sunday where they play Gotsepe, but I love the fact that Besiktas remembered humanity and allowed him to go and lay his father to rest, which is very important. And may his father so continue to rest in peace in Jesus' name. Amen. Czech Republic League, I already spoke about Salim Fago scoring his first goal for Viktoria Plzen, 2-1 win over Sigma Olomouc. He will also be making his European debut on Thursday in the Europa League as Viktoria Plzen will be playing against Cyril Dezer's Panathinaikos. So looking forward to that. And then he'll be playing against Sparta Prague at home in the league. We know Emanuel Lucena is still injured for Sparta Prague, which is a big, big shame. As for the Slavia Prague boys, Moses and Igor Ugbo are both still injured, but Samuel Esife came off the bench in the 16th minute to replace an injured right back and played the rest of the game. Slavia Prague beat Karvina 3-1 on Saturday. Next up for them, they play Slovan Liberec now that they are out of the Champions League. And of course, we'll be sure to check out what Mubarak Suleiman is doing going forward as Slavia Prague continue to stack up the Niger boys. In Greece, we saw Bruno Yemechi's Olympiacos draw 0-0 against Levadiakos on Saturday. Levadiakos. Wow, I never heard that one before, He will also be in action in the Champions League on Wednesday. Olympiacos will be playing Bayer Leverkusen at home. So we'll see Bruno Yemechi versus Nathan Teller. So Niger versus Niger, although Nathan Teller is still injured. So that'll be interesting. So that's his game for the week. And then Kelechi Iheanacho has still not played since February 1st. He was not in the squad for Celtic in their 3-2 win over Kilmarnock. Last gasp winner. Let's see if he'll be able to recover for the Europa League when they play Stuttgart at home on Thursday. And then they'll play Hibernian at home at 4 p.m. So that is it in terms of the weekend player review. I do know it's a bit of a long one, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me because we must give these updates, and it's good for us to be. We're Equal Opportunities Podcast. The same way we'll talk about the Premier League, we should also mention our players playing in the Greek League. Obviously, we can't mention every player. Shout out to IoT and Eagles Tracker for always posting about all of them. But we do our best to bring you this content, and I think it's very important as and when relevant. So let me quickly round this up in 2 minutes, and then we'll get our guests on stage, and then we'll wrap up the podcast. We should be done in the next 10 minutes. I want to say a big thank you to everybody that's been on the chat so far. I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you guys for all the comments. I can see Jackson talk about Lyon. Thank you. Anyway, Jackson's going to come on soon. So we'll look into that. Aaron said German Nigerians don't know the culture as well as British Nigerians. I've heard that as well. But I think we need to find a way to explore that more and to understand why. Obviously, we were colonized by England, so the link is probably a bit more ideal. I just mentioned I almost saw Basket Mount in London yesterday. So it's almost like Nigeria comes to you without you having to go far. So it's an interesting one. John Andrea mentioned I can see Galatasaray beat Juve. Yeah, potentially. Let's see how the game goes. And that is the perfect segue into the ones to watch. So for the ones to watch, mark this in your calendars. Remember, it's all in Nigeria time. Tomorrow, Victor Osimhen, Galatasaray at home, Rams Park in Istanbul. They will be hosting Juventus. 6:45 p.m. Nigeria time. So 5:45 p.m. UK time. Be there and be squared. Like I said, a lot of Osimhen's Galatasaray legacy will be based on how this game goes tomorrow and how Galatasaray fare in the Champions League, in my honest opinion. All of a sudden, let's say Galatasaray win Juventus and then win the round of 16 fixture and then they make the quarterfinals. I promise you, those 4 games will change the entire narrative of Victor Osimhen's career in Europe. So we wish him all the best in that game. Then on Wednesday, we will see the battle of the Nigerians. Rafael Yedika's Club Brugge at home against Atletico Madrid's Ademola Lookman. 9 p.m. Nigeria time. Very interesting and tasty tie. Then we'll see Bruno Yemechi's Olympiacos host Bayer Leverkusen. 9 p.m. Nigeria time as well. Nathan Tella is currently injured, which is why he will not be playing. 9 p.m. at that same time, any of you Gunners as well, like me, we will be in action away at the Molineux as we play Wolves away. And we're hoping that Arokodare can not have it. No, Arokodare, even if he has his best game, they're not going to beat us. I hate to say it. But let him have a good game and let us know win the game. Let everybody be happy. No shaking. And then on Thursday, we'll see the return of European football outside the Champions League as well. In the Conference League, Chrysanthus Uche will be playing for Crystal Palace, 6:45 p.m. against Shrinsky Mostar, who we just found out are a team from, what's that country? I just said the country. Bosnia and Herzegovina. There we go. I remember I was beating them 1-0 in the World Cup in 2014. And I had to stay up in Australia. That was an interesting time. Then we will see Ola Aino, Nottingham Forest go away to play Fenerbahce, 6:45 p.m. in the Europa League. Urasour's Genks goes away to play Dynamo Zagreb, 6:45 p.m. Europa League. And then Salim Fago will be making his European debut away against Panathinaikos, 9 p.m. Nigeria time. So those are the real European games for you to watch for the midweek. As Tolu said, Tolu loves scoring against clubs from London. He might get a goal. He should do his best. He can get one, but we'll get the rest. No problem. And then to round up on Friday, Filippo Tele and John Noriga's Hamburg will be in action away against Mainz Friday, 8:30 p.m. And then we see the return of club football on Saturday with Moses Simon's Paris FC away against Toulouse. And then Osimhen's Galatasaray away against Konyaspor, 6 p.m. Wilfred Ndidi's Besiktas, 6 p.m. versus Gotsepe. And then Fisayo Dele-Bashiru's Lazio away against Cagliari. Then we'll see Lookman play against Espanyol 9 p.m. on Saturday. And then we have a bunch of games on Sunday. But because of the sake of time and the fact that we will also bring you these ones to watch on the Thursday episode, let me stop it for here. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody for sticking with me. Yes, I appreciate the concern around me standing for 2 hours, but I kind of love it, to be honest. It's good. I've turned into a bit of a runner. So, after I come and run, as we're trying to get healthier and healthy, these are all things that we're looking forward to. So looking forward to it. As for just to recap again, we'll have the membership first, the first members only live stream on Wednesday night after the Wolves Arsenal game. We'll probably be talking about the Champions League games involving Nigerian players and Wolves versus Arsenal. So really looking forward to that one and seeing how the first iteration goes on. I want to say a big thank you to everybody for watching, for liking, for actually liking the video. We had a total of 56 likes so far, which I really appreciate. And thank you guys so much for all the engagement and for commenting. I think it's been one of my favorite live streams so far. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody. Remember to follow us on our social media channels. And also we have the website live now, NigeriaFootballWeekly.com. we are coming, and we are going to make sure we keep bringing you this content. You know, we of course have the Women's AFCON coming in March, but for now, I want to say enjoy the football over the midweek. And just before we go, let me get two of our regulars. I'm going to start with our esteemed member, Jackson, and I'll give everybody 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. Let's keep it snappy but concise. I love hearing everybody's takes. And then once we're done, we will end the live stream. Remember, if you don't like the long content, every time we chop up the videos, I will say it again. We chop up the videos. Shout out to Emika, my cousin. Yes, our moms are both sisters, but he's Igbo and Yoruba because of our dads. But wow, one family. We chop up the videos and we drop them all for you. So please look out for that content and make sure you still engage with the Starboy of the week, the red card controversy, and all the topics that we brought to you today. Okay, I feel like I've done enough talking, so let me get my seat and let's have a chat. All right, Jackson. Good to see you, my brother. Wait, let me change my overlay first. Let's get this back to normal. So there's no green. Okay, there we go. Okay,
Hi,
Jackson.
can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you perfectly, Jackson. How are you? Although I heard my voice.
I'm good. Yeah.
Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope the family's well.
Yeah, the weekend was not bad. Was fine. We enjoyed our FA Cup victory.
Very important. You know, banish the ghosts of
Did you see?
1-1 draw.
Yeah, from that Hanoi draw. Did you see Saka play as a 10? Saka play as a midfielder.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the few players. Yeah, one of the few players that has played almost every position from defense to midfield to attack. He has transitioned for Arsenal. Yeah.
Okay, Starboy.
So, what topic do we feel I could deliberate on? So what's the topic for the what are we talking about?
My bro, the floor is yours. You can talk about the ones to watch coming.
Okay.
Games that have gone on.
So that FIFA verdict, I've taken my mind off it. Since we could not have qualified when it was 10. When I saw it 10, I was like, beautiful. This one, Nigeria does not have an option not to qualify. 3 we qualified.
Bro.
5 we qualified. Now 10. Yeah. So, but I remember one time there's this spot, not a YouTube channel, Elegbete TV.
Yeah.
I follow him too. He's a sport analyst.
Shout out to Emmanuel Sebastian on there. I met him in Morocco.
Yeah.
And he said
something. He said, before we got to that stage, he said, mark my word, Nigeria will not qualify for this World Cup. He said, because when they did the draws, it looked easy, but anytime something looks easy for us, we find a way to always mess it up. We find a way to, man. He said the players looked like they like each other. But on the field of play, when they play together, you know they don't like each other because they don't play as one team. They are looking for individual glory. That's when he said it was a long time ago. I said it doesn't reach. He said he wants Nigeria to go to the World Cup because it will put his page on a good level. But the way it's going, and to be sincere, like you said, they took out points from second team. They did all the calculation. They brought out calculator. We've all turned to mathematician anytime Nigeria wants to qualify for World Cup.
Man, all of us.
We always bring our calculator. And they did not disappoint us about that. They did not disappoint us. And also, dual citizenship. Before, they used to beg us to come play for us. Now we are begging them because our system is messed up. Hopefully, we will get it right and it will be the reverse. Because let's be fair, Eze will not play 5 years consecutively for England because players will come up. Like you said, look at this boy for Arsenal now. That's what's his name? This young 15-year-old chap. Yeah, Dauman. One is not the star. Is not the young. Is not the starlet anymore. Someone
That's
has
why I
taken
think
over.
we should go and snap him up now, because the way England
Yes.
on you, the way Nwaneri is no longer the flavor of the month, it's quite funny.
Yeah, it's quite funny. And let's be fair. Let's take our color. That man is quite exceptional.
Oh yeah, oh
What
yeah.
that boy does with the ball. When I watch them play, watch their clips on under 15. I like, is this boy 15 years?
And also the fact
Is
is, if he's 15 and if he's getting this amount of game time in Arsenal, like
yeah.
we must never take it for granted and think it is normal what we're seeing. Like it's not normal at all. Like 15, but he hasn't even started writing his GCSEs. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's so I think we should just look the other way and say try and visit Nigeria for once. I think the only person that did not regret it is Saka, because he always has it. He knows how to give it when you need him the most.
And I'll be
Saka doesn't.
honest, Jackson, as someone that lives here, I'm sure in Saka's quiet moments, you know my problem with England. They don't respect Saka as they should. Do you know Saka has been England Player of the Year 2 of the last 3 years?
And he has not disappointed them in the tournament. Yeah,
Saka delivers. Yet
he bails them out.
the moment there's a new person or Foden is doing well, you hear them debating about Saka's place. It's the same way after everything Raheem Sterling has done for England. Do you know in the past 10 years, the only player that has won an England shirt that is more important than what Raheem Sterling did for England is Harry Kane. But yet, if you see the way they talk about Sterling, you can
Like he was one trash.
as if he's won, like, bro, this guy almost 100 caps. Like he should have been player of the tournament Euro 2021. If not that, they lost that final. And you see the way they don't revere you, even Ashley Cole in England. Like, I'm just trying to tell these people they will not love you as much as you think they will. Nobody is saying that they're comma. But can you imagine if Lookman tried to stay for this England versus the trajectory of his life now?
Life, yeah.
Come on. So I just try to tell them, just look, take your time. If you still feel English to throw, no problem. But just accept that when they are calling you, things go wrong, and they remind you where you are because footballers are the only people that people defend how British they are. When you look at the climate, all the things we are seeing, only footballer, you will see somebody that will tell you there is a reform lover. He will passionately tell you how British Saka is. But if Saka did not play football, he will tell you that Saka is not British, that he should go back to his house. So I'm not saying these things, but you earn your living from your club. And that's why I always say national team has to be much more than just money. And what is the exposure? There are things Lookman and Bassi have seen. Even Bassi, when you see the joy he has when he plays for Nigeria.
Yeah.
You cannot recreate that feeling. No offense. Yes, so they might be able to win the World Cup better, no problem. But I know who I'd rather have on my side.
But do you think, in as much as our team is bad, do you think this English national team will beat us? When they had the best team, they couldn't beat our worst team that was disbanded before we went to World Cup. Remember David Beckham, Yama, they couldn't beat us.
Jackson,
let's be fair to ourselves.
Me and you are on the same page on this one. Don't get me started. I know I'm a citizen, but let me not sound as if I hate them. The truth is, on a good day, if Lookman, Osimhen, and Co line up in front of you, it's going to be a challenging day. I don't care who you are. But I don't want to deny the fact that England are going through their best period, probably since they won it when they were still colonizing half the world in 1966. Yes, they have favorable draws sometimes, but the difference between Nigeria and England is England dispatch every small team they're supposed to beat. And Nigeria were here bringing our calculator because we did not dispatch the small boys they give us. So until we become that team, when England can go away to Serbia and beat them 5-0, Serbia with all the Mitrovic, Dusan,
all the Scandinavian team, England will always beat them.
So I want to give England their respect, but I do agree with you that on a good day, in fact, I'm even looking forward to the World Cup because although Ghana didn't play the AFCON, because if you show up with Semenyo, Kudus, Inaki Williams, it could still be a tricky day for your opponents. It's just
your opponents, on a good day.
On a good day. And honestly, I would have loved to have seen Nigeria really not disgrace us and go to this USA World Cup because can you imagine the vibes? But it is what it is, man. We keep going. But I like the angle and we must always begin to continue to shout. It's why we do this podcast and this channel. There is a certain kind of exposure playing for the Super Eagles means. Most populous black nation in the world. Whether anybody likes or not, as I keep saying on this channel, so I came back from Morocco, the most important footballing nation in Africa.
It's
Not
Nigeria.
people tell you about Francophone land. I know what I saw with my Kurukuru eyes in Morocco. There's a different kind of love that it just means and matters. Yes, Nigerians criticize you when you mess up, but I'm telling you, this thing is just different. And it is on us to do the information and make sure that people understand what the Super Eagles means, which is why we start these platforms, because we know as a man,
Yeah.
they will tell you why we wasting that. You know?
But one thing that I think Ahmad just said in one of those podcasts, he said something, and I quite agree with him. He said, let's look at Iwobi. Even when he had downtime, your national team would always be there for you. National team can always, would always call you on sometimes merit, past glory, and say, let's use him because he knows how to deliver for us. You might not be delivering well for your club, but when it comes to national team, Iwobi knows how to do the shit. So I think that's one part it got right. Yeah, he said it that the national team would always be there for you, even if your club they're not using you constantly. And I think that's one thing that these guys should start remembering, and their parents should start telling them. Look at Iñaki, example, the Iñaki brothers of Spain. Maybe because the younger one was quite lucky, that's why he's playing for Spain. If he gets an injury and someone replaces him now, I'm not sure he's going to get called up anymore. Look at Osamu. Osamu is now injured for Porto. Will he ever get a Spanish call up anymore?
No.
Yeah.
Agawa, yes, but what's his name? Williams, the young one. No,
yeah.
Him and Yamal are the pillars of that squad.
Of Spain. But what I'm saying is,
he may not start. In fact, he even scored in the Euros final now. There's a world where sometimes Omo will play or Yazaba may play other players, but I think what's his name? Why is his name forgetting? Junior Williams. No. Inaki and what do we call the other Williams brother? Williams Junior. Anyway,
Williams Junior, yeah.
Him is definitely a pillar for Spain. I think him is okay. In fact, my biggest pet peeve with Ghana is the fact that they still caught up in Aki Williams after I turned them down until he was almost 30. Nico Williams, thank you so much, Elias. Nico Williams. Thank you. Nico Williams is a very important player. What I do agree with you, though, is you can still see that there's sections of Spanish society that are still coming to grips with the fact that they have black players playing for them.
Black players playing for them.
Marcos Senna was the first one.
Marcos Senna was the first one. Villarreal. Yeah, Villarreal. When he played against Arsenal.
So there's that angle there, but also those ones that they've been playing at Lex Bilbao their whole career, they want to be Basque as much as possible. So no problem. Now, Nigeria, the reason why we don't even have those kind of problems, our population is 7 times the size of Ghana. That's why I always joke that when Nigeria were banching Ghana, we should be ashamed. Ghana's population is just slightly more than Lagos population. And we'll be maybe 30 million. I heard Lagos is 25, Ghana is 30 million. So we, even with the dysfunction, we still have all this talent coming through and all these things that we can do. But I think there's a world where we must find the balance between the national team will be there for you and meritocracy. I think we saw the effects of meritocracy in this AFCON, especially when you look at how someone like Adams played, you know. But we also saw the problems with our Azamen. Usman Mohammed literally took somebody's place and did not play a single minute the tournaments just to be smiling and they do company and
bonus.
Exactly. You know, so it's a fine balance between like the national team be there for you. But as I went through before we even did the community discussion, I think we've reached the point where we have to respect that our national team is already quite good. We're looking for those players that can tip us over the edge.
Take us to the next level. Yeah, take us to the next level.
All these Justin in Jim now, whether Bremen, with all due respect, we don't need you. Bye-bye. If you can hit those heights, this is why I said non-airy, these ones that we can see the potential of what could be. You know, the Coyotes, these Italian Nigerians that seem to love Italy so much, which I don't understand. When you can even see their interesting presidents going around to Africa to tell Africans not to come to Italy. And that's the country you love so much you want to play for. To each their own. I also admit that myself, I'm a bit more interested in geopolitics. I try not to be ignorant and stuff like that. And I'm almost 33 years old, so I'm not a child. So maybe that's the difference between what a 33-year-old looks into versus a 21-year-old or 20-year-old who's just like, who's going to give me the best exposure. Although Italy may be on the verge of missing their third straight World Cup. So we shall see for these boys. But I think it's a great discussion and definitely something to even add to maybe a one-off discussion we've done. Like John said, Lookman's career has been much better as choosing Nigeria. I think we've done that. I love this Aaron comment as well. 47 countries will earn their spot in the World Cup by merit. Only us who want to go by legalities. Okay, just for cracking jokes, Aaron will say us and 3 other countries. Because USA, Mexico, and Canada, they didn't any by merits, but they spent money to develop facilities. So we'll give that one as a slight drawback. Elias said, fingers crossed Nigeria makes the World Cup. But honestly, I think Nigerians. Okay, you mean the next one, Morocco, Spain, Portugal? Bro, they better make that one. They better make that one. And I like what John said. The quality between CAF and UEFA isn't even that large anymore. FIFA Club World Cup showed me that. I think, Aaron, also, this World Cup is going to be the first World Cup where we can judge African teams accordingly. And this is why it pains me so much that we're not in the World Cup. There's going to be 9 African teams. Apart from UEFA, no confederation is going to have more teams than Africa. So I think now we can judge our teams accordingly. I will not be surprised if we see, I think when I was doing the maths, there's a world where Senegal could play Brazil, but I think majority of our teams will make the round of 32 and then potentially get knocked out. A few should make the round of 16, but I still think Morocco and Senegal have the best chance of making the quarterfinal and subsequent modes. So that should be interesting to watch. I like what Aaron said about being mid-20s and choosing Nigeria. Like I said, even what we've seen in AFCON, there's a lot to build towards now. So let's see what we can do. But honestly, guys, I'm just saying this whole World Cup thing, remove your mind from it. Just to save yourself from disappointments. If it shakes out, exactly. If it shakes out, they've already broken our hearts enough. Don't you remember this time in March last year where Zimbabwe equalized last minute? Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Benin. Like, it's enough. Like, we've seen Shege, man. Morocco. But at least now we have a semblance of a team with a plan, and I think this one makes it even more annoying because you know on paper that this is our current team now with Eric Shell. We can go to that World Cup and do some damage. But if you don't buy the ticket to get to the raffle, you don't get to draw the prize. So Nigeria, next time, make sure we don't miss the World Cup again. And let's start planning our stadiums for the next cycle so we don't hear any stories. I think that's what we'd love to see.
I think my final take would be Wednesday's game. I think that should be it would be a difficult game because relegated teams at this period of the season, they are the most dangerous team to play. I remember Leicester before they won the league. This same period, the season before, they survived relegation. Cambiaso, Neri,
Ojoa.
The striker. Yeah, so they did one comeback midweek like this, and they survived relegation. So I know Wolves are already. They should start singing the championship anthem already. But they could upset anybody right now. They could play spoilers, park the bus, and do anything it takes to upset someone. So I think Ateta should. Would I say reshuffle the team that played Wigan Athletic? No, stick to the same team. Maybe go back to Saliba and Gabriel, but just leave the midfield the way it is. Let Eze get more game time. Game time has been Eze's problem. Then I think for Martin, yeah.
Did you not play Rice or Zubimendi?
No, so Rice would definitely play because Saka is not going to play as a 10.
Okay. Fair.
Saka would not play as a 10. Let's what's his name? Still continue as outside right. Let what's his name? The Chelsea guy above from Chelsea. Madueke continue. Saka come off the bench. Then Rice is regular. Rice and Eze stick to the other guy from Brentford. What's his name again?
No guy.
Because Wolves will be physical, and sometimes when we meet physical team, Rice drops back into the 6, which kills sometimes our attacking pros going up forward. So Zubi goes forward. But Rice charging forward, he takes that out of him. So I think let Zubi come off the bench for this one, but I know Arteta will want to start him. But because Wolves will be a physical team, so
I'm glad you
let's
said that. Arteta
yeah.
doesn't like seeing Zubi on the bench at all.
Yeah, so Wolves is going to be a physical team. I just feel he should let the other guy play midfield and
Guys,
Martinelli run them off before Trossard comes on to finish off the game. And I think that's my take. Let Martinelli start ahead of Trossard because of his pace. Because Martinelli's finishing at times has been our greatest problem. The season he scored 15 or 12 league goals.
15th,
His
right?
finishing was his problem. Yeah, so right now they are not even contributing. I think that's why people are saying we don't score enough goals because our midfielders are not contributing as much as they should contribute anymore. So hopefully we'll get the 3 points on
But
Wednesday,
it's quite interesting that this season Martinelli now has, I think he has 10 goals.
inclusive of Champions
11,
League.
11 goals, bro. Okay, all right. Only one in the Prem, but 6 in the Champions League, 4 in the FA Cup so far. So I'm not mad at it. Let him just continue delivering in those other tournaments and we can figure the rest out. But
Yeah,
I like your thoughts. I still think whatever happens, bro, as long as we beat Wolves on Wednesday, that's all that matters. Anything else we
yeah,
can manage it, we can figure it out, and we can live with the wounds of whatever happens. But I think
yes.
whatever happens, we have to. When we do the members only live stream after that match, we must be celebrating a win. That's all
You
I
win
know.
6 points. Yes.
So fingers crossed
All
we
right.
get it. Thank you so much for all the takes, Jackson. I appreciate all the
Uh,
support. Thanks for your knowledge and for always communicating and just being a great member of the community, man. I appreciate it so much. So God bless you, man.
thank you.
And fingers crossed for
Hey,
Wednesday. And we'll see you on the live member stream prior to Thursday as well.
yeah.
Much love.
What the fuck is wrong?
Okay. And finally, to end the show today, I know we've been going for a while, but always pleasure to get Shane's thoughts. So we'll get Shane on and then we'll wrap up the show. All right. Shane, what's going on, my bro?
Good evening, my brother. How you doing? How you doing? Good evening, how
Very
you
well.
doing? You don't hear me? How
I'm
you hear
good, thank
me?
you. I can hear you very well, thank you.
I told you that I told that last week you are going to drive there to the game before. What happened? You know for you just.
I knew you would start with that.
Where did you Babele FC? Babele FC. I wish you best of luck about that. Um second about the fake news in Nigeria. Today my Twitter account, Twitter page full of fake news. Even people that are supposed to give us good news, and they are not saying they're just saying fake news. And I wonder why. Well, let's say here the good news from the team. But the news from the people already. That Nigeria, that this and that. Oh. Why you do that? For this for traffic, and I don't understand. Why do that? Let's just for me. Qualify is not for me. Congo do anything. Congo do music. Congo do anything. Congo do understand the music. I don't have a Nigerian, but Congo to fit. Congo shit and the music. That's one. But let's talk about fake news. That's what I mean. And about the Michael Carter stuff, are you hearing me?
No, I need to hear you better.
Hello?
Just be slightly louder.
I said that for me, all this fake news is too much for me. Fake news in
I
Nigeria is too
agree. I
much.
agree on the fake news.
Fake
Yeah,
news,
I heard
fake
you on
news.
that one.
I'm tired of it. And about Michael Carter stuff, I can't just wait for it to be.
Yes.
Just like this channel, people, those are just like this Nigerian guy. I play for the last time. That guy that play for West Ham. I forgot his name. Angelo
Obuna.
Obina.
Obuna. Yeah, yeah.
Obuna. After the match, he was dumb. What happened is not happening for them. And for me, Kade is just I know that personal. I watched my last European national championship was just average. So for me, attacking wise, it's about that long throwing. It's not better than attacking wise.
That's true.
About
I
that
know
throwing.
can also throw to.
So all those throwing stuff and whatever and this. Now was not a fantastic model. I'm talking about the top about one area I think time to get him now because now I'm playing for Marseille and now not look at him now. Get him now. Let him start for Nigeria next time. Better for Nigeria. Number 10, after number 10 together. And also this young man that play for Liverpool. That young boy that people Manchester player. Forward, I forget the young man name. The winger. God, I'm come with a phone. That's what I'm see. And for the man, that's to get us under 19, under 19, under 19, under 20. That was it was.
As
That's
in
what we do.
certainly.
And talking about the under years under 19, talking about the after put them. Let Kanu and Okocha or Kocha talk to one day or talk to that all those boys. They know them very well. They respect them. Not Guso.
I agree.
Let Hansa. I want to talk to them and Kocha. It's so Kocha and Doctor. Open your door. They respect him very well. That's my that finally for Arsenal to win league. This is that don't win this. They don't win this season. I just that is the sack. That's the fact. Everything is yes. That's the fact. Because Arsenal done everything for him. Just get him started everything done for him. In fact, the best thing with Arsenal, every position, they are very good in every position. When the first to attack, two players. So you have only lead. As long as you go, you don't have to the best. Just like Naomi don't pass on the time, do that thing. I just should go. That's my chance to be giving me. And save
Thank
this
you
and
so
do that.
much
One
for
love.
that. I think the Arsenal one, we'll see how it goes. 12 games to go. But I think some things will definitely be asked as the season ends. So we'll see what happens. But in fact, I'm going to just touch on your point once we drop now about the Federation and non-area. I think that was a great take. So thanks always, Shenwe. And good luck for Chelsea as
Okay.
well for the weekend. Don't worry, we'll do the preview on Thursday as well and just mention all the other games. And I appreciate you for always watching and for the support. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, so to round up the podcast, let me just touch on what John said and what Shane was referring to about Nwaneri being convinced to play for Nigeria. John said maybe it's a federation problem. Senegal were able to convince Sarr and Mbaye. I think that's a great statement, John Andrea, and it's something that I'm always trying to talk about. Look, Morocco and Senegal, when it comes to not cheating preparation or making sure that you have your intangibles sorted out, those are two of the countries in Africa that you must look at and look to learn from. Senegal may not have the same budget as the Moroccan Federation, but they have exceptional links with when it comes to a lot of League One sides. They have so many good and thriving academies in Senegal that have already built reputations where they know that directly some League One clubs are going to scout them and pick them up. Literally, the plan is already there. They know how to leverage their networks. Nigeria, until we learn these things, because I love what John said. Nwaneri playing for Nigeria now is basically the equivalent of Senegal being able to convince Ibrahim Mbaye to play for them at 17 while he's at PSG. And with all due respect to Senegal, until the year 2021, they had never won an AFCON before. They've won 2 now. We know of all their conversion titles for the younger years. You cannot cheat preparation. This is a country that only made their first World Cup in 2002. And after 2002, they didn't make another World Cup since 2018. But yet, look at the structure of Senegal. Look at what we're seeing. Look at them winning. They've now played 3 of the last 4 AFCON finals for a reason. And when you look at just the sheer size of Nigeria versus Senegal, you cannot say they're more talented than us. But guess what? They have better structure. I cannot tell the last time Senegal played a match without wearing names on the back of their shirts. Did you see the video of Senegal when they're about to leave Dakar and how the whole stadium was filled up when they were sending them off to go to AFCON? In Dakar. But Nigeria, in the whole of Lagos, we don't have one good stadium. We are sending our players to you. So, John, it's definitely a federation problem, 100%. All these things are tied in together. Your deal with your sponsors, your sponsorship work, the way you even take the basics and treat them right. When last did you see Nigeria host a press conference in Uyo or anywhere in Nigeria and it looked like a professional setup? My church in Nigeria could do a better job. But as our men see these things and to them, they don't care. You go to MTN, all these sponsors, say, please come and sponsor the most important brand in Nigeria. Then they'll now see their sponsor name on one shabby looking background that nobody can even explain. All these things matter. Where's the sponsorship agreements? Apart from making sponsorship deals, what does that look like? If you watch England play, you see, oh, the Volkswagen man of the match. Oh, the EE fan of the day. Oh, the EE and training pictures of the day sponsored by so company. Where is our own? These things are not hard. But nobody's thinking. That's the problem. Nobody's thinking. You now complain sponsors are not coming to you. How will sponsor come to you when you go and swallow all the money? They cannot see the impact of the bread. Even little things. Do you know that if we had a working federation, we could have a company, we could literally get a sponsor for our training bibs. There's a time we used to have Guinness on our shirts. But I'm sure those ones looked and thought, why are you wasting our money? What are we doing here? So many things we could be doing. Even all the content at AFCON, you can say behind the scenes image of the day sponsored by Canon, Mr. Chef. Like, it's just common sense. But nobody's thinking. Thank you, Elias. Look how Morocco and Senegal announced their squad list. Nigeria will announce AFCON squad list and just drop a picture on Twitter. And they've announced the squad list. If you're telling people that it is not that important to you, then they will tell you it's not that important to them. Meanwhile, you see Morocco and Senegal, Ivory Coast, they announced their AFCON squad live on TV. On TV. MSFA announced every single player's name as if it's like the Brazil squad. Have you guys heard about the Brazil squad announcements? When they go to global TV and everybody announces every day. Richarlison. You will see pictures. They've already set up pictures in Richarlison's home so that him and his family can react when they are announced in the Brazil squad. But you go and drop lists. Salim Fago is there. Usman Mohammed is there. We're now lamenting ourselves. It all matters. What are we doing? That you send players to Uyo. No offense to Uyo. We respect Akwa Ibom. I love their soups. I love the people there. But it's like sending English players come and play a match in Sheffield. You not go to London. You not go to Manchester. You not go to Birmingham. You not go to Liverpool. Come on now. Then players will now fly in when there's such a dearth of flights. From when they now hit Lagos. Let's say they touch down Lagos at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Domestic terminal now telling that, sorry, oh God, there's no flights going to Uyo tonight again. They will now have to pay for hotel for that player to lodge in Lagos and then be flying on the next morning. It's all part of it. But Senegal can have their whole squad training Dakar and the whole country is full. The whole stadium is full because people can build the energy of their most important city. London is the most important city in England. Even anybody that lives in a village in England knows London is the most important place in England. In Nigeria, forget whether you like Lagos or not. It is by far the most important place in Nigeria. The economic hub, the commercial hub, everything that runs in Nigeria runs through Lagos. Whether you like it or not. You call it arrogance or stupidity, whatever it is. But that's how we've set up our country. We're not yet like America or Australia that have regional hubs where you can go to Brisbane. It's different. You go to Melbourne, you go to Sydney, you go to Canberra, you go to Perth. I cannot use my mouth to tell you that there's any moment in my life I was like, wow, I can't wait to visit this northern part of Nigeria for holiday. Just see what it's like. Is that not a shame? But meanwhile, you know that there are beautiful places there. But what's the cost of transport? How do we get there? So we're wasting our time. I was in Morocco for 2 weeks. You guys saw me on this channel. I went to Fez. I went to Rabat. I went to Casablanca. I went to Marrakesh. I did not take a flight one time inside Morocco. And we're paying for train tickets that cost less than 30 pounds or 20 pounds to go around Morocco. Do they have two heads? Meanwhile, Nigerians, we hate embarrassment, but we don't do anything collectively to prevent embarrassments. We're such an individualistic society, even though we act like we care so much about what people think. So religious. What would they say? What would they say? Nigeria is the most individualistic society I've ever lived in my life. We would deceive ourselves that we care about others. It's all eye service. Look at anything in Nigeria that is for the collective. Any stadium, airports, green spaces, You cannot find it. Do you know that in Morocco, when we were in Marrakesh, we were walking past the road, you just see orange trees just growing, like just chilling. And they trust their citizens not to go and pluck all the oranges and just make it look useless. So I don't even know where we start. But the truth of the matter is there's so many things, even within the microcosm of football, that could be done. And that's why I cannot stand Amaju Pinnick so much. Because if he wanted to, he could have made it happen. When you hear Pinnick talk, he's clearly a smart man. He's not daft. He's clearly not. You don't end up on the FIFA men's committee if you're dumb. But he knows what he can get away. It's like when you work in a company, if you know that you can get away with certain things, you might try it when your motivation has changed, when you're no longer the eager beaver student that just started your career. That is the honest truth. Nobody cares. Like John just said, I saw Algeria's head coach have to explain why he didn't include a certain player. Can you imagine when Nigeria announced the AFCON squad list? Eric Shell, oh, can you please explain to us why Madika Okoye is not here? Oh, by the way, he requested not to be in the team. Oh, because he wanted assurances to start. Done. We'll all move on. We won't speculate. Oh, can you please explain how these three players who have never been capped by Nigeria have all of a sudden been thought worthy of a call-up to a national team? Can you explain your thinking behind that? Then he can use man and say, look, me, I picked 25 players. The way things work in Nigeria, your federation tells us that there must be 2 picks left for the NFF president. Let us be transparent. Let's know. Because now Usman Mohammed has taken Christian Tuche's spots. Christian Tuche could have come and endeared himself into the national team, built some more relationships. They were together for 4 weeks. There's no way relationships were not built. But guess what? We're the ones speculating. Oh, why is our squad with 28 players? Oh, who's this player? Oh, why didn't they call up Orban? Why didn't they call up Dorosini? Oh, what did Anthony Dennis do? It is ridiculous in 2026. But my church in Nigeria, if it's social media, they are there. Everything can be live streamed and you will see the background fresh. So do they have 2 heads? So my people, man, when we're ready to act like Morocco and Senegal, and the worst part is Nigeria, we have the cachet. We already have the natural cachet and intangibles that you don't beg for. We have a population that cannot be reproduced anywhere else in Africa. We're the most populous black country in the entire world by far. The next most populous black nation, even if you double the number of black people there, it will not reach Nigeria's population. 1 in every 6 black people on earth is from Nigeria. I'm telling you, 1 in every 6 human beings on earth that is black is from Nigeria, whether diaspora or not. Those are the intangibles you cannot make up. Because guess what? You need a pool of talents to succeed. Gambia, they might have all the right processes, but their country population is 2 million. Am I even right? Is it up to 2 million safe? What can you do with 2 million? 2 million. My house in Yaba, between Yaba and Surulere and Festac, we don't count 2 million there now. What are we talking about? But yet, there's just this amazing commitment to being mediocre. As our men have gone to deceive us about petition to Congo, so that we will not abuse them, that they should resign. Look at how they're not giving us photos. When in our lives have we heard of petition to remove a team from the World Cup before? Team that beat us fair and square on penalties. Is it our fault that after Osimhen we're toothless? And they put in Eric Shell so late. Do you remember they were supposed to hire Eric Shell at least 4 or 5 months before? But they didn't want to pay him salary. That's why. That's why they now hired Finidi George. Finidi, that should have just protected his legacy and left Nigeria, was using Nigeria to give debuts to Benjamin Tanimu. Someone that was playing for Crawley Town in the 4th division in England was wearing Super Eagles jersey to play a World Cup qualifier. And we think we are serious. It's just a shame that Eric Shell has reminded us of what we are and how important we can be. And now we're even more annoyed because we can lament at what could have been. Because we clearly have the intangibles. Is it our diaspora? Do you think it's a coincidence that every major European nation in the world, or go and look at USA squad or Canada squad, anywhere Nigerians are there, even if their population is less than 50,000 in that country, go and check their national team. There's a Nigerian player there. Even Malta, go and check Malta squad in England. Even the useless nations in Europe, go and check their squad. Do you know what it means for you to go to Ireland, a country of 4 million population? How many Nigerians are there? Within that 4 million, go and look at the Irish under 21 squad. You've been blessed with the intangibles, the natural love for football, the natural passion, the physical capabilities, and most importantly, the numbers. The numbers. Croatia were going to be the first country that could have bucked the trend of winning a World Cup without a population that was significantly above 40 million since the 60s. Though they were not counting all those Uruguay World Cups when they were winning it, where only 5 countries would participate. 1960, 1962, and in fact, forget 1960s. The first World Cup with color TV, 1966 and after. Go and look at it. So who are we deceiving? And this is a country that used to make World Cups when only 3 teams will make it to. Now they've made 9 teams. Nigeria is not there. That's what is allowing South Africa disrespect us. Look at how poor South Africa were in that World Cup, in the AFCON. We know that we play South Africa 10 times. Neutral ground, we'll beat them black and blue 8 times. That one is sure. Any South African sports that is not white players that are playing it, they are useless in it. But guess what? They still punch World Cup tickets ahead of us. And they deducted 3 points from them. What kind of insane? Nigeria. We drew against Zimbabwe. If Eric Shell got his hands on Zimbabwe, they for chop like 6 now. Can you imagine Eric Shell playing this our Super Eagles All-Stars from AFCON against Lesotho on a good pitch? It could be even 7 or 8. Go and watch the way Morocco dispatched their qualifiers. You cannot cheat good preparation. Where is the pitch? Where are the facilities? Then Amaju will come and tell us that we'll have world-class stadiums world-class pitches better than Morocco next year. Is that not someone that clearly does not think we're smart? He opened his mouth. In all the years he was in Nigeria and in working in NFF, even the one he's still influencing today, because I saw him in the Marrakesh hotel before we played Algeria. He did not manage to put one good stadium apart from that Uyo one. He went to go and build a stadium in his village that takes, as Jackson told us, it takes 3 hours. You have to take a boat to go there. And this demand that is telling us that if I was the president, would I made the World Cup? God will forgive all these people, man. I'm telling you. You cannot cheat good prep. The worst part for me is you would even think all these Azamen by being in Morocco, small shame will catch them. Look at the hotel, look at the facilities, look at the pitches, look at the roads. Morocco, they don't have 2 heads, oh. They don't have 2 heads. And they've not won an AFCON in 50 years. That's why they'll be celebrating Arab Cup, all these trophies that don't mean anything. Because they haven't won shit. But guess what? They do not cheat prep. There's no reason Nigeria should not have been the first African side to make a semi-final. Pele even predicted we'll be the first African side to win a World Cup in the 90s. But all these people, they assume that we have competent leadership in our environments. Every time, go and watch a video online of like the economic outlook of Nigeria. You see one analyst in America say, oh my God, Nigeria is going to be a $2 trillion economy by 2050. Oh my God, they're going to be the 3rd most populous country in the world. Man, they're going to be the giant of the country. Every economic analysis they make, they forget what bad leadership does. And standing on mandates. And you see smart people, competent people, everybody on your mandates. They changed our national anthem. Any normal democracy, you should go to the Senate and strike it down. Sorry, sir, you're not allowed to change the national anthem. This is a pride of Nigerians. We do not accept. This anthem means more to Nigeria. Instead, we saw the Senate president say, oh, I'm sure this change of national anthem will bring restoration and grace to the country. Is that a country that people seem like they're saying? They will now go to church and pray every Friday. I went to Port Harcourt. Out of 50 billboards, 49 were crusade for Christmas. Crusade, come and pray. But they know that in that same rivers, it's not Tinubu that put state of emergency because the so-called godfather wants to be taking the resources directly to his accounts. And you see people in the same state say, hey, Wike, big man. Guys, Nigeria is... I don't know what to say, man. So NFF, PDX still going around giving us stories that touch. Thank God our music industry did not need regulation or one body they have to do it by themselves. If not, one Azama would have told them, please, if you don't send your single to me first, until I approve the video, we will not make it. We will not know where our industry will be. So, guys, honestly, let's just keep lamenting, but we'll do what we can do from here. But what annoys me the most is we have the potential to be the greatest African nation in football. That one, I do not even think that is hyperbole in any way. It's not possible because we know what we have in our hands. But let's keep allowing these cheats take us for idiots, excuse my French, and keep merry-go-rounding us. Meanwhile, they love the success, so that's the worst part. When Nigeria beat Algeria, if you see the lobby in Marrakesh, all the Azame, everybody is dancing when it's time to celebrate. But what part did you play in making sure that they could celebrate well? Huh? Mr. DG that promised me tickets only to ghost me. I remember you. That one too that charged me $100 for Nigeria tickets. I will never forget you, Mr. Supporters Club. That one that was wearing the chapel outfits everywhere. Do not be deceived. Those people, they are all looking for money. All of them. Third place match. Tried to send me ticket for $100. I even told him where I was. Meanwhile, tickets to Algeria that I bought for my brother and I were less than £20. So let's keep doing ourselves now. Don't worry. Very. Let's watch this World Cup well. In fact, I hope the African team saw so much at this World Cup here that Nigeria will be forced to get our shit in order. Like maybe we'll drop in our rankings by like 20 or something. Or maybe we'll see like 4 African teams make the round of 16. Then Nigeria will be lamenting that if it was us, we'll be there. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Oh my God. Shoulda, woulda, coulda country. Oh, if this was done, our GDP will be here. If this was done, this will be here. Let's keep watching. The beautiful thing I love about football is they're forced to have accountability on the world stage because disgrace is possible. That's the one thing saving us, guys. If not the fact that we had to go to Morocco and watch this game, they would have embarrassed us again. But Nigeria, we like eye service. In Morocco, all the big boys, Pinnick, Gwenta, Benz, moving around. Meanwhile, you hear Gusau come and tell you, I was ashamed when they said that, why is Nigeria not bidding for AFCON? So which one is it? You watched all the Lagos stadiums become dilapidated, and we're all watching here and sitting down here. But you're telling us we should go to you. That's what will save the day. We have AFCON qualifiers starting September. We're in February. 7 months to go. Guys, mark my words. Do you think anything will improve in the Uyo Stadium between now and September? Let's be frank with ourselves. Apart from them still owing Eric Shaw money, that one I guarantee they will still be owing him bread. But as I mean, they're all there. We have more officials in Morocco than players. Pack themselves. Anyway, let me. We're almost at 3 hours, so let me round it off for today. What I want to say as well, guys, shout out to the gang, man. You guys are everything, man. I can't believe it's live. There's 2 people watching after almost 3 hours, but I do not take it for granted. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for all the support. Shout out to everybody who liked the video. Shout out to the 3 super chats we got today. It means the world to me. Shout out to everybody who's liked the video, who shared, who subscribed. You guys have been amazing. This has been one of my favorite live streams, especially with the amount of engagement and the amount of things we had to talk to. So as I said, just to recap, do not get excited about this whole petition thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a smoke screen. Save yourself disappointment. Start One Africa, One Love. Start deciding which of your African brothers you want to support. France, Senegal will be amazing. Ghana, I told you guys, I went to Ghana in November. One of my best friends married a Ghanaian woman. Myself, I've dated a Ghanaian woman before. I don't banter Ghana. We'll banter them still, we always, but I actually love Ghana. And honestly, they're thinking in that place where you look at their country compared to our own. So I'm going to be watching Ghana over England in the World Cup. I'm going to be watching Senegal over France in the World Cup. Which other West African country do I like? Ivory Coast, I think they could do some damage. That'll be nice to see. Even Morocco, I want to see Morocco do well. Morocco's opening game is Brazil. Brazil, like the 1998 World Cup, where they played against Scotland as well. Scotland, Morocco, Brazil in the same group again. Opening game of the World Cup, South Africa, Mexico. Nigeria, you could have been there. They deducted points from Bafana. We know they're not even that good. And yet, look, because you could not beat Lesotho. Even Lesotho, they couldn't believe their eyes when they drew us, I'm sure. So we go again, we move again. Shout out to all the standout performance for the week. Shout out to the Starboy of the week. Shout out to Gift Orban. I'm sure he'll bounce back, and I'm hoping that red card will be rescinded. Shout out to our women's under 20 team. We wish them all the best in their final game against Malawi later this year. And shout out to all our boys for balling out. Remember, Champions League today, Champions League tomorrow. Victor James Osimhen is in action. Watch that game on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we'll see the big boys come out too. Ademola Lookman versus Rafael Yedika. We'll see Bruno Yemechi's Olympiacos playing Fantella's Bayer Leverkusen. So Niger boys are out. And then, like I said, the first ever members only live stream will be taking place on Wednesday, 10 p.m. immediately after the Arsenal Wolves game. It's not too late to join as a member. Please join if you feel inclined. But if not, do not feel pressured. If you're a subscriber, the usual regular schmegular program does not change. We're going to keep this content coming to you hot. We'll continue to find a way to balance it between day job and this. But I want to thank you guys so much for all you do for this blog and this channel and the podcast. We've now crossed 11.3K. We're on the road to 20K subs. Like I said, please continue to share the love. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Shout out to Aaron for saying great stream. I'll just go through the final 10 comments that I did not go through. Ada, I didn't even see Ada. Ada is one of our best community members. Always has exciting thoughts. She slowed down slightly after the AFCON, probably was busy, but I love Ada's takes, man. And Ada doesn't take nonsense. If you're doing some stupid shit, you're gonna hear it, So shout out to you. Aaron, wow, this is amazing praise. Aaron says, how are you able to speak fluently on the fly like this? My brother, Badura to the Lord, man. Thank you, mommy and daddy. Mommy and daddy, if you watch this stream, thank you very much. You're the real MVPs. God bless you both. Love you so much, as always. Thank you so much, Aaron. That is really amazing feedback, and I'm glad. To be honest, like I've said, I've always been a chatterbox, but I'm just learning how to curate the right words and when to be concise and when to do things, especially because we're being asked to come on to opportunities and talk for like a short amount of time. But like I said, I made it a podcast because I know I can ramble. But like I said, all of you that like the short clips, watch out for the short clips. They will be out tomorrow. So God bless you all. Final comments. Aaron also said, what irritates me is that people blame Eric Shell. Anybody that blames Eric Sekoshell, this Malian that has come to change the trajectory of our football national team. Anybody that abuses Eric Shell, I'll be honest, you deserve. Do you remember in boarding school in Nigeria, the kind of grievous bodily harm people used to commit on themselves in the name of discipline? You deserve one of those slaps that you see the whole print on your face. Eric Shell is the least of our problems. That's the honest truth. And long may he continue as our coach. That is why I was so irritated last week when I heard Gusau saying that no, we're not supposed to renegotiate the contract. My brother, will you go and renegotiate that contract straight away? Rubbish. Someone's doing well. Yeah. They're kidding us. Ada says, even they kick DR Congo out when we have to defeat Cameroon and Jamaica. That's why I said, me too, I did not comment too much. Where does the line stop? Cameroon could say, well, we had to play them without that, so we don't want to do that. Or FIFA could say, you know what, Jamaica and New Caledonia, whoever always just go through. Like, there's just too many things involved. Also, if you say Wan-Bissaka played a lot of the games even before the playoffs. So do you overrule their games against Senegal from the group stage? And then also, didn't they still play these players in the AFCON that just happened? So would they now annul the AFCON? I'll be honest, I think Nigerians are wasting our time. Next time, don't lose to DR Congo. And next time, when you're 1-0 up against DR Congo and you get a chance, Chukwueze and Didi do not fall in front of each other. Put the ball in the net. If it's 2-0, we will not be worried about Fistimayele. You know, the way Fistimayele played that day, I thought he was this amazing generational striker. Then I watched AFCON again. I was like, look at the DR Congo that they were using us to shine. Bloody hell. Anyway, I know some things I heard though after Congo. All you footballers that you not make World Cup, you're not carrying babe after. Just think of some of the players that you have not seen near national team since the Congo game. Maybe you'll be able to spot one or two I'm mentioning. Discipline. It needs to come from somewhere, So anyway, we keep moving. As if it was the one who decided to lose to Benin. Exactly. Was it Eric Shaw that decided to lose to Benin? Or to play Benjamin Tanimo against Benin? Or to not bring on Victor Boniface and certain players onto the 80-something minutes against Benin? We shall know. Was he the one that decided to play Kelechi Iheanacho as a winger against Lesotho? Was he the one? Pesero, come outside, though. You cannot use AFCON to Kelechi Iheanacho was played as a right winger in a World Cup qualifier. Yes, this is our crazy country. Aaron said, "What happened to the stadium in Abuja?" Aaron, the less we talk about it, the better, my brother. I went to the opening of the Abuja Stadium when I lived in Abuja when I was 10 years old in the year 2003. When I was 10, we played Brazil. Brazil beat us 3-0. That's 23 years ago. Guys, we all watched the Premier League. How old has Old Trafford existed? How old has Anfield been there? Villa Park. Meanwhile, a stadium that is 23 years old, go and look at how dilapidated it is. Maintenance culture in Nigeria, zero. It's so smelly. It's so smelly. So, my brother, don't even bother yourself. What Pinnick said, Osimhen would have played like Maradona in 2022. I'm tired of this guy, man. How about you, man? God will forgive you, man. God will forgive you. Exactly. With this, their colonial anthem. Exactly. It's the one that they now told us we should come and be singing. We hail thee. Like, say we are reading a scripture from King James Version. No offense, people that love King James Version. But his anthem cannot be working fine. And a whole country knows about it already. And because you know you are coming to the 1-year anniversary of your presidency, where there's nothing to show for it, you now decide you're just going to change the national anthem. And because you rule with impunity, because we're in a country where there's no standards, everybody that's supposed to be rejecting it, they're accepting and mandate standing. That's why Nigeria always made a mystery to me. But if it's to go to church and pray and to be telling people we don't do that here, hey, Nigeria, we are the conservative country. Meanwhile, look at our population. They'll tell you I knew my wife. As if kids are just born by mistake. Let's be deceiving ourselves now. Syria, very immoral country, too much religiosity. It's the places that they claim are not religious that you see morality. So how do we explain that one, man? So we move, man. Elias says, hopefully we join you guys in the main AFCON qualifiers September. Hey, man, I'm rooting for Somalia, man. Just because of you, Elias, man. I wish you guys all the best, man. And we wish you guys so well. So shout out to you. Shout out to you, Aaron, and shout out to everybody on the chat as we end. David Awoshika. Lord, David said, hello, Ola. I don't know how many times I'll say my name is Olu. But shout out to you, man. This is one of our esteemed members as well. Much love. He said it's been a while. I missed Nigeria Football Weekly. School's been stressing me out. Oh, sorry to see that, my bro. Sorry about school, man. Don't worry, it's just a phase. Remember, it will always pass away. How's your twin brother? It's very good, man. In fact, Okpa, he's probably busy, but anyway, we live together, so he's around. He said, good to see you on my screens again. Yeah, man. Bro, we've been bringing the content hot to hot twice a week, man. So good to have you back. So one of our esteemed subscribers, like, how's your twin brother? He's not in a position to be on camera, but he's here. Relay the message. Or you want to come and check your face for 2 minutes. So much love, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, Kenny's still here, live and direct. So we just ended the 3-hour stream. Much love to everybody. Elias, we wish you all the best. Go Somalia. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that game. And we wish you all the success. Okay, guys. Okay, signing out. Like I said, members only live stream starting on Wednesday. If you feel compelled, please look at our offering. And I'd love if you can join us as a member. If not, it's okay. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, we're Nigeria Football Weekly on all social media channels except Twitter. I know you've seen my little overlay now just to make sure it shows. And we continue on the road to 20K subscribers. Also, the website is now live. As I said, go check it out. And we'll be giving some more updates on there, NigeriaFootballWeekly.com. Thanks again for all the support. Much love to everybody. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the week. Enjoy the Champions League football taking place tomorrow on Wednesday, particularly our Nigerian players. Sorry about this, my light. And of course, look out for the Thursday live stream. We'll be previewing the weekend games as the Premier League will be returning. And then on Wednesday, immediately after Arsenal Wolves, we'll have the members only live stream. Until next time, I've been also okay. Thank you so much for all the love and for sticking with me and for enjoying this content. It means the world. God bless, and I will see you all on the next episode. Small content coming out for everybody that does not want to watch 3 hours. Remember, much love. All right, guys. See you later, John Andrea. Much love to everybody. Have a wonderful evening and rest of the week. Peace out. Take care. Ciao. Ciao. Booyaka.